It's like I can't walk on the ceiling. Oh yeah, got me dreaming, dreaming in colors I never dreamed in. Oh yeah, I let you in deeper than I let anyone else before. Fell in love with my broken pieces, took them all and made them yours. Didn't know what my heartbeat needed, skipping out, no I can't keep score. When I lose my breath, boy, you got me breathing. Oh, every little thing you do, every time you hold me, take me higher, higher. Every little thing you do, every time you hold me, take me higher, higher. Oh. Magic, no, I'm never letting go. Now that I have it with you. When you kiss me, it's like the stars fall out the sky onto my heart to cover up what I don't wanna show. I let you in deeper than I let anyone else before. Fell in love with my broken pieces, took them all and made them yours. Didn't know what my heartbeat needed, skipping out, no I can't keep score. When I lose my breath, boy, you got me breathing. Oh, every little thing you do, every time you hold me, take me higher, higher. Every little thing you do, every time you hold me, take me higher, higher. Oh, you take me higher, you take me higher, baby, you take me higher, you take me higher, baby, you take me higher, you take me higher, baby, you take me higher, yeah, you take me higher, baby.
Welcome to Radical Truth to Power, the progressive news show with Let's BS. Here I am, your host, Marlon, along with Theas, and I have absolutely no idea where everybody else is, but on today's show, we're literally just going to finish Project 2025. You didn't see the show yesterday, or you didn't hear. After calculating, we wound up having this Project 2025 been sitting here for about a month. And you know, not to make excuses for it, because the war is going on with Israel and Hamas, and once we start talking about that, you know, by the time we finish talking about it, we had very little time to finish up Project 2025. We wound up just doing one piece and then going into the second hour. So we're literally going to finish off Project 2025 so we can move on. We also have a real or not, Foxy's videos of the week. Mafia video of the week is a bit different this week. Really different. It is a video, but it's also a question that I want to open up to everybody who's on the panel, who's watching. Everybody has a chance to get their say. It's just, that's the only difference. Other than that, let's just have fun. So, Theas, welcome back. How's everything going?
It's everything, man. It's too much to speak on, but everything's pretty cool.
Okay.
How about you?
I got to get used to this fall back thing again, because technically it's 9 o'clock, not 8 o'clock, but it's really 8 o'clock. So it's just a whole mess. My body adjusts, and I'll think that I'm getting some extra sleep when I'm not getting any extra sleep. But it is what it is.
Yeah, I went out and got one of these here smartwatch thingies, and it reminds me all day long, one, that I'm fat, and which has inspired me to get back to working out again, which is good. But then also it tracks my sleep, and I'm sitting here thinking, oh, I had 6 hours of sleep. Watch be like, you slept for 2 hours and 45 minutes.
Yeah. Hey, Anna.
Hey.
Hi, Anna.
Yeah, I got to start getting one of those watches too. I really think, as much as I keep saying, ooh, I got 6 hours, or ooh, I got 8 hours, when you actually look at between you rolling around, you adjusting, you
Getting up to go to the bathroom,
then you wind up with 3.
and then you think that you sleep, but you actually are just barely sleep.
You haven't reached
So
that.
your body knows that you're not really asleep,
Yeah.
and the watch snitches.
That's what this does too.
Yeah, I got to get me one of those. So I'll look into that probably for the new year to start getting into it. Anna, how's everything going with you?
Going good. It's my mom's birthday.
Oh, wait a
Happy
minute.
birthday, Mama Heart.
Thank you very much.
We
She
already
didn't have the
said
room.
that. Radical truth to power. Happy birthday, Mother Heart.
She did.
Scorpios are the best.
Yeah, she
We
did.
make the world right.
Okay.
Okay. She did see your message from earlier, and she'll see this later on. But yeah, we just said goodbye to family. We just wrapped up, had a lovely fruit tart pie thing. Not cake. We're getting kind of sick of cake.
Mhm. Okay, so Tracy says she'll be in the second hour.
Okay, okay.
All right. Well, without further ado, let's get this party started. So we're going to continue on with explaining the Project 2025, a blueprint created by the Heritage Foundation to, doesn't really matter what president is in office, who happens to be in office by 2025, as long as it's a Republican, and as long as this Republican will follow this literal blueprint.
Mandated leadership. Yeah.
Yeah. So we're going to move on to 3 or 4. I forgot which one we add, but it's now getting rid of government agencies.
Yeah, it's bleak. Let's get into it. By far the scariest aspect of the policy, and the one getting the most critical commentary, is the absolutist commitment to gutting the administrative state and concentrating power into the hands of the president. The administrative state is sometimes called the fourth branch of government, and there have been debates for centuries as to whether it's constitutional. You know, all those agencies like the EPA, Social Security Agency, HUD, FEMA, the Fed, the Department of Homeland Security? Yeah, all those governmental bodies that manage the administration of day-to-day operations of the country and promulgate regulations for everything from transportation to healthcare to food to clean water. That's the administrative state. It's not technically in the Constitution, but that doesn't necessarily mean it's not constitutional. And listen, most law students take an admin law class, and I can tell you right now that shit is dry. I barely could keep my eyes open during that class, so I won't bore you with too much detail, but this issue does take on a new and much more important meaning when you learn what Project 2025 wants to do about it. So here's some Admin Law 101. Admin law governs the structure, decision processes, and behavior of administrative agencies. Those agencies are created by statute, executive order, or by state constitutions. Admin agencies are also referred to as commissions, boards, authorities, bureaus, offices, departments, divisions, etc. They're created by executive order, meaning when the president says so, or by Congress. Say Congress passes a law saying something is illegal. In that same law, they might say, we also create this new agency, and this agency is tasked with overseeing and implementing this law. For example, the Federal Food and Drug Administration was created by the Pure Food and Drugs Act of 1906 to oversee the implementation of that law. The main functions of administrative agencies are to investigate, make rules, and adjudicate. That's why there's administrative law courts. They're not state or federal courts, they're separate, less formal courts where agencies can conduct hearings and enforce the regulations that they write and promote. Those admin law rulings can be appealed up to state and federal courts, but most of the day-to-day workings of administrative agencies happen within the agencies and their courts. That doesn't mean, however, that there is zero oversight of these agencies. Like I said, rulings in the admin law courts can be appealed to state and federal courts. Congress can pass laws like the Administrative Procedure Act to rein in administrative agencies, and Congress also still controls the purse strings.
Okay, so before we get into it, that's just a blueprint of what they're talking about. State agencies.
Foundation, yeah.
So that's just the foundation. Now let's go to the next video and find out why they want to get rid of them.
The foreword in Project 2025's policy manifesto lays out their objections to the current state of affairs. Congress passes intentionally vague laws that delegate decision-making over a given issue to a federal agency. That agency's bureaucrats, not just unelected but seemingly unfireable, then leap at the chance to fill the vacuum created by Congress's preening cowardice. The federal government is growing larger and less constitutionally accountable, even to the president, every year. Okay, so they're saying there's too many bureaucrats and the president doesn't have enough power. It continues. The conservative promise lays out how to fire supposedly unfireable federal bureaucrats, how to shutter wasteful and corrupt bureaus and offices, how to muzzle woke propaganda at every level of government, how to restore the American people's constitutional authority over the administrative state, and how to save untold taxpayer dollars in the process. So they're basically Ron Swansoning the government, attempting to put people in places of power to dismantle federal agencies from the inside. Except it's not a fun joke about a lovable libertarian with a mustache. It has far-reaching consequences that are made all the more dire when you learn about the unitary executive theory, the theory upon which many of the Project 2025 recommendations rely.
So,
And let's be straight, Congress does make a lot of stupid laws.
yeah, they do. Far more than we can actually talk about on this show.
Well, see, Congress makes laws that are sometimes stupid, sometimes corrupt, but more often than not, they don't really make very many laws, really.
Not anymore.
At least not in recent history. And many of these bureaus came into place because Congress refused to act. So the president puts out an executive order or something of that nature, and something has to be stood up to actually enforce and follow through. First of all, it's about time to leave the country, y'all. But the thing about this thing here, the whole administrative state thing, it's all heading back to the fact that they want a Führer. Democracy was fine when it wasn't democracy. It was actually autocracy, but it had a veneer of democracy. And once democracy started acting more like democracy, then those who are historically in power no longer want it. You know, because it's great to have democracy where every voice gets a vote when you control who gets to have a voice. If you can control who gets to have a voice, you don't care if every voice has a vote. And now the conservative mindset, instead of being a check on the liberal mindset, it's just completely overpowered by the numbers because the conservative mindset is so insular now. They're like, well, screw it. Let's get rid of democracy. So what do we need in this place? We want something like Putin has. That's why they switched so hard from hating Putin to loving Putin.
Yeah.
Because in Putin's world, the wealthy people owe their wealth to Putin. There is no corruption unless it's against Putin. So if you're on the side that Putin likes, then you're going to get rich and you're going to have power and you're going to be comfortable. And they're like, well, that side looks like me, so I'm all for it. And if it gets out of control, then they'll fight another war and they'll try to push it back the other direction. They're not really thinking it through from that standpoint. It's all about the power. And the great thing about it for them is the people that they're up against, us, are so addicted to rules and afraid of conflict, we'll let them do it.
What I laugh about is the contradiction in terms. They first say the administrative state is unconstitutional, and then what was it, like 5 seconds later, talked about getting around the constitutional rights and restoring them back to the people from the administrative state. So it's like,
well, to them, it all goes back to being a constitutionalist or an originalist. So until you have the structure under which the Constitution was written, as far as who's favored to be in power, nothing is legitimate. So in their eyes, what we live under is not constitutional. It's not within the framework of the original authors. And they try to hide behind that language, but you sit there and you say, well, wait a minute. If you're a strict constitutionalist, if you're an originalist, what are you really saying? What were the standards of society at that time?
Black people were not even people. That's one.
Black people were not considered people. We were property. The indigenous people were savages. They were not human either.
Right.
Women, I don't care what color you want to line yourself up under. Women y'all were things.
No, right. Yep.
Your accoutrements. Your job is to create more people.
Women and
That's
children
it.
are also property of a certain type.
Right. So that's why we're doomed as far as a nation is concerned, because we're at the point where we fall in under our own weight. And our so-called media, they're so addicted to the dollars that they'll never actually ask the questions.
No.
And the politicians are so protected in their bubbles, they don't have to answer your questions. And then we as people are so whatever we are that we're waiting for somebody else to fix it. It's always someone else will fix it, not me, you know? So we just watch it fall.
The funny thing about the Constitution is if you actually went by the letter of the Constitution, the forefathers actually did write something in there that says, and you need to update the Constitution every 7 years. So there should not have even been an originalist, because they would have stuck to that, there would have never been an original Constitution unless you just pretend like, oh well, we didn't update it in 7 years. And
there would still be an original. There would still be an original. And their problem is that the wrong people in the wrong agenda have been making those amendments. You leave it to these people, they cut like 2/3 of the amendments out. Because all they really want is white power, Christian power, which in America has become synonymous with white, and unfettered capitalism. So if you're on the top of that pile, Great. If you're in the bottom or the middle, should have been born better.
Hmm. And I got a challenge for people out there. Can you even name what the first 3 amendments do? Let alone all the rest that were added.
I know I can't because I've never respected the Constitution. So
Mm.
I know the First Amendment is a freedom of speech thing that we've gotten some weird, distorted view of what it actually means because it doesn't mean what we think it means. You got
Right.
the Second Amendment that we continue to fight over. For me, here's why I say the Constitution isn't all that important to me because it's never been for me.
Mm.
So we've always been operating on understandings. So I'm more interested in the understanding. It's kind of like if you hand me the Bible, I don't really care about what the people thought when it was written because the Savior for whom the Bible was written had been dead for 300-400 years. So I'm still dealing with a bunch of people out of Europe that decided to start retranslating the Bible, and it was all done for political benefit. It changed put European names into the book, all kinds of things. But
Yeah.
the underlying messaging in the Bible, that I can still rock with. So the Constitution is like that to me. It's an aspirational document. It can mean whatever you really want it to mean, and it's got enough flexibility that you can add to it. You can expand upon it. You can clear things up. But power concedes nothing. So they changed the Bible. They changed the Constitution. They change whatever they want to. Whoever's in power, which has been the same people for the last couple hundred years, they just shift things. And so here we are. And now they're shifting it again because you'll even hear them say, what is it they say? We are not a democracy. We are a representative. What's that other thing?
Yeah.
Republic?
Republic. We're a representative republic.
Yeah.
We're not a democracy.
That's what I was taught when I was a kid. And it really kind of shocked me because they put it under a veneer of democracy, but then they tell you that, but we're a republic.
Mhm.
And then they start to explain more about the, what's the thing for voting the president? Electoral college.
Yeah, because that's what we miss, though. And see, we are a society running on understandings. We're not
Right.
running on of any actual knowledge. That's why
Right.
you have so many people who are afraid of the word socialism, afraid of the word communism, afraid of. You should be no more afraid of those words than you are of democracy.
Right.
It's and then stop confusing things. Socialism is a political structure. Communism socialism is an economic structure. Communism is a political structure.
Mm-hmm.
Not the same thing. But because we're not,
And nobody's done
at the time that we're taught it, we're not interested in learning, right? We're being taught it when we're children.
And nobody has been calling for communism. Nobody that I know.
Nobody. The only people
They've
asking for
been-
communism are the people who are asking for this weird theocracy that they're trying to push. Because
Yeah.
this new Christian cult-like thing that they're trying to build, that's a that would push you towards communism more than anything else. Right? We pretend to be for all the people, but really we're gonna tell the people what they can do. That's communism.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah, and then I sit there and I look at these things, and then you got like democracy. Democracy just means the voice of the people. That's all.
Mm-hmm.
But a republic are the separate states, and you have a representative republic, so the states can elect their representatives to go to the federal government, which is intentionally weakened because they were afraid of having another king. So these people go up there and they speak on behalf of the states, but they really represent the states, not the nation. And then the president, because you can only have one head to any monster, that's the person who goes and speaks to all the people and speaks around the world, but does not have much power.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how it's designed to be. So these people are just saying, you know what? We're losing power. We're losing numbers. Um,
By any means
the
necessary.
democracy thing, we can go ahead and drop that. We don't really want that because we keep hearing from people we don't want to hear from. The representative republic, that ain't working so good because our numbers are too low. So we don't really like that. So that means electoral college. Its days are numbered because pretty soon with the shift in the population centers, we're gonna lose power there. So we had a good run.
All right, everyone, let's move on to unitary executive theory. And yet another checkpoint of why I really just couldn't stand Reagan.
Okay, so unitary executive theory. It's this batshit theory that has only been made up in the last few decades. In fact, we have our good old friend Ronald fucking Reagan to blame once again for its proliferation, because of course. The theory came to prominence during Reagan, but really put down roots during the presidency of George W. Bush. Basically, the theory rejects the idea of 3 equal branches of government put in place to ensure a rigorous system of checks and balances so no one branch becomes too powerful. Instead, the unitary executive theory says actually, inherent in Article 2 of the Constitution, the president has complete control of the executive branch. So Congress can't create all of these agencies and put power in the hands of agency heads to make decisions. That power is supposed to be concentrated in the hands of the one singular executive. Reagan's lawyers came up with the idea in order to push deregulatory efforts. Bush Jr. used it to lend validity to his exercises of power after 9/11. While Obama expressed a more modest view of presidential power initially, he too exercised authority that circumvented Congress in several policy areas, especially in the deployment of U.S. military forces overseas. And then Trump, of course, came in and was like, hold my Big Mac, let me try this. And he frequently tested the bounds of acceptable exercise of executive power. From Muslim bans to the border to threatening sanctuary cities, he declared over and over that his authority extended to overriding congressional laws and funding authority. As one judge stated in response to Trump's threats against sanctuary cities, the separation of powers acts as a check on tyranny and the concentration of power. If the executive branch can determine policy and then use the power of the purse to mandate compliance with that policy by the state and local governments, all without authorization or even acquiescence of elected legislators, that check against tyranny is forsaken. Trump considered himself and his presidential powers not only beyond the bounds of Congress, but even beyond the bounds of judicial review, arguing that his travel ban was unreviewable by the federal courts. The judge in that case declared there is no precedent to support this claimed unreviewability, which runs contrary to the fundamental structure of our constitutional democracy.
So here's, in layman terms, the buck stops here and it starts here too. It's basically talking about being the president. Trump pushed it to heights that's just you use your Justice Department, you use the Justice Department to fight your civil case in New York against Stormy Daniels. I'm never going to forget how you just decided I need a photo op, so I am going to bombard this protest to make way for me to go to a church that you was not invited to hold a Bible
closed,
to hold a Bible upside down for your little photo op. And yeah, we could get into your little picket.
How many times did he cite Article 2? Article 2.
All the way
I can do whatever I want.
All the way to the boxes that you now are going to court for.
But this is what they asked for. Yeah. Think about it. The last time you had this level of overreach was Ronald Reagan. What was Ronald Reagan? He was an actor. He was a governor. Yeah. He was also an actor. An actor is what he was known for. Mm-hmm. Right? And what do actors do? They take other people's ideas and they pass them on as their own in a very believable way. That's what they're good at doing. And he did that. And then Bush comes through, Bush W,
Yeah.
not the brightest bulb in the bunch,
At all.
right? He
He's
had
got the
all
same
the
people around
professional,
him.
he had the professional politicians all around him.
Mm-hmm.
And so they did their thing. Obama comes in, and like the lady was saying, with the executive orders and all that, because by then, that's the only way you could govern. Pardon me, it's the only way you could govern, right? Because if you look at going back to Clinton, executive orders was the way it worked because Congress stopped working.
Right.
So
What are you gonna
this
do?
is what they asked for. This is exactly what this is what America asked for, all of us. This is what we asked for. Because what was the call for Trump was he's a CEO. He can run America like a business. Well, the problem is the people saying that don't understand business. So they're going by, once again, understandings and not knowledge. Trump came and he ran it just like he runs his business. Listen to Michael Cohen. Michael Cohen always tell you, Trump knows everything that's happening. Nothing happens without him knowing about it. He doesn't give direct orders. He just makes sure you understand what he wants done. And everybody does everything to make him happy. That was his presidency right there. He'll do whatever you want to do. Long as you kiss his butt, make him feel good, put money in his pocket, and pat him on his head. That's it. This is what America asked for. Because I was saying, Hillary Clinton, not my favorite. Full disclosure, I couldn't bring myself to vote for her. I left her name blank on my ballot and voted everybody else. Because I knew I was in a safe state. But still, fact remains I didn't vote for her. I still contend she was the better one. Her resume is perfect for being president. Her resume is way better than Obama's. Okay?
Yeah.
So I'm saying if you want somebody to be the president of the nation, you need somebody who actually is a super politician. I know we hate politicians, but that's what it is. Like, give me the best politician you got. And that's who should be president. I need somebody who's ruthless and compassionate, intellectual and human, and able to play the whole spectrum. And the problem is the people that we do have that are able to do all of that are actors. And so they become legendary. Reagan's legendary. Trump is legendary. Here we go.
And we'll never, on the Democratic side, we'll never back somebody like that.
We won't because the structure of being a Democrat, right? And this isn't to make the Democrats look like they're so good because they're not. They just play a different game, right? Neither party listens to their constituents. The Democrats ignore everybody. The Republicans ignore everybody. Republicans passing laws that their own party doesn't support. Their own party didn't support the abortion ban. Their own party wants support for Ukraine. But the politicians, they go by the dollars of who's padding their pockets and they make their decisions accordingly. Democrats do the same thing. They just do it a different way. Yeah. Democrats don't want to destroy the country because if the country falls apart and the demographic of Eurocentric whiteness has full reign again, the Democrats lose all their power and they can't come back.
Right.
And so they don't want to do that. That's not their game. They didn't commit themselves to that. The Democrats committed themselves to the multicultural thing, not because they believe in it, but because there's a lot more money taking a little bit from a whole lot more people. It does the same thing. It's taking a lot from a few people. And the Republicans already had one side on lock. So that's how they go. And if something happens and we keep falling down that slide, what you're going to find, mark my words, because I see it coming, all the groups that the Democrats currently support ain't going to support us no more. Because they're going to have to shift to where the power is. And everybody's going to be fighting for that particular tier. It's going to be purely caste level, class level, and then that's just what it's going to be. And they both going to fight to serve the ruling elites.
All right, everybody, let's move on to the next video. How far do they want to go with this?
The policy also shows an outsized obsession with China, another popular conservative talking point, saying that China is a totalitarian enemy of the United States, not a strategic partner or fair competitor, and that America's elites have betrayed the American people. The solution to all of the above problems is not to tinker with this or that government program to replace this or that bureaucrat. These are problems not of technocratic efficiency, but of national sovereignty and constitutional governance. We solve them not by trimming and reshaping the leaves, but by ripping out the trees, root and branch. The report goes on to say illegal immigration should be ended, not mitigated. The border sealed, not reprioritized. Economic engagement with China should be ended, not rethought. Our manufacturing and industrial base should be restored, not allowed to deteriorate further. Confucius Institutes, TikTok, and any other arm of Chinese propaganda and espionage should be outlawed, not merely monitored.
The funny thing that I got from that whole thing, this I'm sorry, I had to laugh when I hear China bad, China bad. And I'm looking at these millions and billion-dollar companies who manufacture whatever, and what's the first place that they go to manufacture to do it cheaper? You go to China. Literally. You cut. And now we have, what's next? Because now we have call centers who go to India. So are we? No, you sure as hell are not gonna cut off India. So I don't even understand your argument when you're literally telling, okay, what exactly are you cutting off from China? China should not have had our business to begin with. We should have been manufacturing things over here. But no, you wanted to go the cheaper route to keep more money in your pocket. Now, if you want to cut China out, fine. I'm gonna pull a Theus now and replace it with what? Sounds good. Sounds good. Not really, but I'm gonna go talk your talk. Sounds good. We're cutting China out of everything. We're bringing all the manufacturing here to the United States of America. God bless and all that other stuff. Now what?
Oh, that's so easy. Now what we do is we make sure that underage children can work, because we need to bolster the work thing.
Yep.
We turn a blind eye to immigration so that we can take advantage of their children as well. And the 32-hour work week everybody's been pushing for. No, we're gonna go ahead and move that back out to 60. And yeah.
So they you already have the agenda of, and I can't find a better way of saying this, of running this country into the ground. Because you, and I've said this is my personal beliefs. Businesses throughout this country hated the pandemic, but not for the reasons that you think. Like, well,
they loved it.
Oh no, because it opened the eyes of the workers of the United States. Why the hell am I working myself into the ground to make you richer and me? I'm not even gonna say rich, poor. That's hyperbolic. But you richer and me,
more work.
Steady.
Well, that's just it. It's all that you said, but I come to a different conclusion. Because when you look at what happened with the pandemic, well, first it happened right before the pandemic where they redefined unemployment. So prior to the pandemic, I think like 2 years before, You like when Trump first came in office, right? And he was trying to pad his numbers. All of a sudden, gig work was considered employment. Had never been considered employment before that. And see, the thing about gig work is you are not an employee. You are a contractor.
Right.
But the drivers for Uber and I think Lyft, but I know Uber at the time, were pushing really hard for protections through Uber because whatever. And Uber is like, nah, you a contractor. I ain't got to do all that. Right? So they were going through all that. But the numbers started tanking with employment. So they redefined it. And all of a sudden, gig work could be in there. So like you were saying, okay, during the pandemic, employees started looking at things. Like I love to use fast food as the example, right? You make more money going to deliver the fast food than you do to stand there and cook it. So people are like, wait a minute, why should I risk my health and spend my time for no benefits to go over here when I can make the same money on my own time just driving my car or whatever? And we thought that was a good trade. We thought that was empowering workers. It really wasn't, because we were embracing the hustle culture, the hustle mentality thing. That's a bad deal, because what you really just did, you let the employers off the hook.
Mm.
Employers love that you go out there and because they just start a new business to make the money off of it, right? You got the Deal Dash and the Who This Hoot and all this stuff. They just make a business for you to come to work for. You can control your time. I don't have to pay you no benefits, no health insurance.
Yep.
You control your time, but you got to work all the time in order to have the money that you think you need. And then the other part, the banana in the tailpipe, is you're going to use your assets to make me money. You drive your car. You pay your insurance. You know what I'm saying? And so it's like you were empowering and disempowering all at the same time. And now look at us. Insurance continues to get worse each year for your employer. If you're fortunate enough to have company paid insurance or company assisted insurance. And then if you're a gig worker, you ain't even got no coverage. So it's everybody lost, but the employers made the most because they also were able to record record profits during this time because they were able to negotiate lower rent because their people weren't in the building, right? And it's just a whole mess. It's this whole mess. And at the end of the day, the workers who actually loses because there's not enough union jobs, and the unions control who gets to even get in there. And then the companies they rather push you to go do something else.
All right, everybody, we got 2 more videos. I'm gonna cut the last 3 out.
No, yeah, that's stop talking.
Oh no, it wasn't that. I mean, once I started looking at it, the last 3 was the application, the training, and the playbook of the first 180 days. I'm like,
Yeah, we don't need to put out.
yeah.
If you want to see the entire video, go to Lisa Miller's channel. It's all there.
But the next 2 videos I think is kind of important. The LGBTQ attacks. See if these sound familiar to you.
Another area of grave concern for Project 2025 is the proliferation of LGBTQ ideas and transgenderism, suggesting draconian measures that many critics are saying would effectively criminalize LGBTQ expression. As the foreword to the manifesto says, the next conservative president must make the institutions of American civil society hard targets for woke culture warriors. This starts with deleting the terms sexual orientation and gender identity, diversity, equity, and inclusion, gender equality, gender equity, gender awareness, gender sensitive, abortion, reproductive health, reproductive rights, and any other term used to deprive Americans of their First Amendment rights out of every federal rule, agency regulation, contract, grant, regulation, and piece of legislation that exists. It goes on to say, pornography manifested today in the omnipresent propagation of transgender ideology and sexualization of children has no claim to First Amendment protection. Its purveyors are child predators and misogynistic exploiters of women. Their product is as addictive as any illicit drug and as psychologically destructive as any crime. Pornography should be outlawed. The people who produce and distribute it should be imprisoned. Educators and public librarians who purvey it should be classed as registered sex offenders. And telecommunications and technology firms that facilitate its spread should be shuttered. As far as I can tell, to them, pornography includes any discussion of being transgender or really discussion of sexual and gender identity, period, based on their reference to educators and public librarians who've been under attack for allowing children to check out such psychologically destructive books as And Tango Makes Three, a book about gay penguins, and Sparkle Boy, a book about a little kid who wears a tutu. But the rape and murder in the Bible is fine and definitely requires zero therapy later in life.
Let me say this real quick. Outlaw pornography. And excuse me, because I know I'm working on this, so I'll use a more similar word than what's normally used. You are effing lie. You ain't gonna outlaw pornography. Are you nuts? It sounds real cute on a piece of paper, but you know and I know you wouldn't do it. The worst case scenario that you probably would come up with is, I can't even come up with anything. You wouldn't do it. Sorry, you just wouldn't do it. I'm sorry. Every time you say stupid stuff like that, I think about the Catholic Church, where you have brushed up all the things that you keep, protect the children. No, you kind of protected the church, the priests, and everybody else. The heck with the kids. You was protecting your power. So you kind of actually piss me off every time I hear out of your mouth, protect the kids. No, you really don't. You just really don't. Because you try to have us forget about the Catholic Church, the I don't even know what you call it, the retraining camps that you have, or the retraining schools to teach the gay out of you. I'm forgetting a whole bunch of, but it had nothing to do with helping the kids.
Well, nothing ever really has to do with any of those things. But unpopular opinion, probably. Oh, I done ran Marlon off again.
Yeah.
You didn't see my light turn off?
I did.
I didn't. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
unpopular opinion, and I definitely have partaken in my fair share of adult entertainment. But personally, I don't think you should outlaw it because I don't think it's a practical thing. But I do think it should go back behind the paywall. I think that it becoming so free and open and all of that was a horrible thing. Horrible. And then I'm not just saying from a societal standpoint, which I do think is wrong to allow for the unfettered access to young people in the midst of their development, because it gives them completely distorted views of relationships. But it was dangerous to the people in the industry.
Yep.
People aren't getting paid anymore because it's everywhere now.
Mhm.
So they have to do more and more dangerous and riskier and different things just to try to get paid for something. So it's to me, it's all bad. It's like trying to justify gambling or something like that. I mean, I'm all for free choice and all that stuff, but I think that everything has its limits and its range or what have you. So yeah, I just whatever. But the problem is I can't hear from people like these yahoos because I know what their motive is, and that's where I wish people would pay more attention, because they get locked into someone saying the thing that they believe in or agree with, and then they'll shut off any knowledge of everything else that they're doing. We see it all the time. Somebody will come to you and let's say your pet project is criminal justice reform. And they come to you and they have a detailed plan on how they would help fix the criminal justice system. And you're like, finally, someone is saying what needs to be said. Yes. And then they have this thing over here talking about, illegal immigrants should be forcibly detained for unlimited amount of time. And they got this thing over here saying that 10-year-olds can go to work. And they got this thing over here talking about women should be seen and not heard. And they got, but they said the thing you like. So you roll with it. And that's what they're playing on you. This is what this thing is. This manifesto, they released it on purpose to get people like us spun up and talking about it and freaking out about it and all of that stuff. Really what they're doing is a soft campaign. It's no different than when the Ku Klux Klan and the White Knights or the whoever them people were, they throw them those flyers in random yards and stuff. They're doing it for multiple reasons. One, they want media attention. Two, they want to terrorize the people who would be afraid of it. And three, they want to see who is not outright rejecting them, because those are the soft targets that they can continue to work on and hone their message and recruit, not to necessarily join them, but to not be in the way when they start to move forward. That's all this thing is. That's what this plan is. The Heritage Foundation has been around for a long time, but they know that their power is in white power. So they are doing what they need to do to soften the ground so that when things get real ugly, we've already be kind of desensitized to it. We've debated ourselves out. They did it with the abortion thing. They leaked it. We all lost our collective minds.
Mm-hmm.
It burned itself out. People went back to sleep. Boom. Supreme Court overturned Roe v. Wade. All the anger had already had an opportunity to bubble up and kind of subside. So there wasn't any issues with violence or anything like that, which would have happened if it had been a shot.
Yeah. All right. Last video. The agenda and the Bible.
The chapter further states that the next president should require agencies to maintain a biblically based, social science reinforced definition of marriage and family, meaning the next president should push to remove protections for same-sex marriage. And that's not the only reference to the Bible or the sanctity of the family in the policy document. Its 920 pages are littered with references to the Bible and Christianity and the traditional family unit. The foreword declares the most important community in each of our lives and the life of the nation is the family. Today, the American family is in crisis. 40% of all children are born to unmarried mothers, including more than 70% of black children. There is no government program that can replace the hole in a child's soul cut out by the absence of a father. Which, first of all, that's some old school Republican language. The loud welfare queen wolf whistle of Reagan rings on into the night, I see. But also, frankly, as someone without a dad, I can confirm that actually the health insurance I had through the state as a poor recently graduated 22-year-old paid for the therapy that I needed to fill that hole, so put that in your pipe and smoke it. But that's not the point. The point is to demonize single mothers, especially black ones, and place the blame of all of society's woes on the backs of individuals who just need to work harder to maintain their traditional family units, and not on the system that leads to impoverished single mothers in the first place, like, I don't know, the mass incarceration of black fathers, for example. One of the main stated goals of the policy is securing our God-given individual rights to live freely against the woke agenda. The opening note of the manifesto states, "Today the left is threatening the tax-exempt status of churches and charities that reject woke progressivism. They will soon turn to Christian schools and clubs with the same totalitarian intent." In the chapter on COVID-19 policies, the author asks, how much risk mitigation is worth the price of shutting down churches on the holiest day of the Christian calendar and far beyond as happened in 2020? What is the proper balance of lives saved versus souls saved? And the fact that these people think that the federal government should be concerned with saving souls tells you enough about the belief system of the people who want to overrun our government. The chapter on the U.S. Department of Labor states, God ordained the Sabbath as a day of rest, and until very recently, the Judeo-Christian tradition sought to honor that mandate by moral and legal regulation of work on that day, and blames consumerism and secularism for the decline in Sabbath observance, calling on Congress to encourage communal rest by amending the Fair Labor Standards Act to require that workers be paid time and a half for hours worked on the Sabbath, which sounds kind of nice except for the whole Christian nationalism thing. The chapter on the U.S. Department of State says that special attention must be paid to challenges of religious freedom, especially the status of Middle Eastern Christians and other religious minorities, as well as the human trafficking endemic to the region. But of course we know which religious freedom they're concerned with here. In all of this, Project 2025 essentially creates a blueprint for the proliferation of a Christian nationalist agenda at every level of government.
Is that
Now they care
Patriot
about black
Bible?
people.
Yeah. Mm.
No, they don't. They don't.
They
care
only
about
bring us up when it's convenient to like prove a point.
They concern themselves with black people. They created the welfare queen, the fatherless homes. They created these type sayings to show you this is why our country is the way it is. They don't care about the black community. They only use the black community as an example of why we're not. I have no idea where they're going with this. Really, the most dominant country in the world, or I have no idea where they're going with this.
Well, what they're doing is an age-old story of black people in America. You have to dehumanize us and somehow attribute our collective failure as somehow related to our actual genetics. And so if you can continue the story that we are takers and we are like children and we must be led so that we do not fall into slothfulness and trivial and all that stuff that they've always done, then it can give an excuse for why in the most wealthy nation, one of the most wealthy nations on the planet, why this particular group continues to be in these particular positions. And that story only works if you can get people who do not understand history, for one, and then also a people who do not understand their own history, for two. And then for the third masterful stroke is we have to make sure that we can get you to only look at one group at a time. See, if we sit there and we do the black struggle, then the question would be, well, wait a minute, but what about the Native American? How are they faring? No, we're not talking about them. We only talk black and white. But what about the Latinos who come specifically from Central America? No.
Build a wall.
We're not talking about them, right? So everybody, we can make your failings seem as though they are actually yours and not manufactured by us, so long as we can keep you ignorant of everything that came to be to get you in that position. And the saddest part about this, for me, is within our community, in the black community, we're actively assisting in this. See, I can't stop quote unquote white America from doing what it does. Right? It's doing what it feels it needs to do to protect its power, to protect its privilege. And the vast majority aren't even engaged at all. They not even interested in any of this. They really don't think any of this is happening because their life is get up, go to work, come home, get up, go to work. That's their life. And they only see that. But see, there's a small determined few who understand the real stakes of the game. And they make sure that these constructs continue to run so that they can continue to protect their power and keep that sleepy white majority from paying too close of attention because they need them as a buffer. Right? So it's so sad. But like I said, the part that concerns me the most is our community, because, and there's other communities doing the exact same thing, but I can't speak for them the same way. We got to stop participating. We have to uncenter Eurocentric life, and we have to decide what is it that will help our community be able to compete. And that the formula is very simple. You need education, you need economics, and you need a spiritual base. You need them. Those are the three things you need. And so why are we still entrusting our children to overwhelmingly white teachers? Why are we all employed overwhelmingly by white business? Well, we have to because it's the majority. But the thing is, you can start to affect those things. We can encourage more people of color, black people specifically, to go into education. First time a lot of our children see a black person teaching them is going to be when they get to high school. So how do we find a way to engage sooner than that? Do we need to start our own preschool so we can teach them K to 6, K to 5? Do we need to just get more teachers into the school system, which is a whole other thing, because now you got to fight with the white structure when you get there, but still, our children need us. That's education. Economics starts with small businesses. Learn from our Latino brothers and sisters and our Asian brothers and sisters who already do this. They don't employ all their people, but there's a strong base that can go to work for their own people, gain whatever skills or whatever, and go outside and work for white people if they want to, or build their own business if they want to, and all these different things. It's called competition. We can do that too. So I'm so disheartened sometimes, but I'm still at it, folks. Still at it. January, Are United Core coming at you. I finally have some stuff moving, but better late than never, as my man Marlon told me. So we're gonna keep going. But man, I'm so disheartened.
It's no, because I'll be getting into it. That is our first hour. I appreciate it. We are done with Project 2025. Great conversation. Please go take a look at the whole video when you get a chance. I'm sorry, we finna get into the boring stuff, so these and got.
No, I've been running hard for 3 days. I apologize.
I know. So we're gonna take a 3-minute break to reboot and refresh with a full second hour. Am I the a-hole, real or nah, mafia video of the week, and Foxy videos of the week to make up from last night. So 3-minute break to reboot and refresh, but have a little twist. I wouldn't actually leave to go anywhere. Have fun.
Living for weekends, wishing I could take a break from this world. Running on a hamster wheel, but searching for something I can't feel. I just wanna be a lost girl and fly. Take a breath, feel my wings spread, levitate above the ground and make eye contact with clouds. Now I'm rising, I'm soaring above it all. I just wanna be free, finally. I wanna be free, I wanna be free, finally. I wanna
We are back for the second hour of Radical Truth to Power. And that's the new remix from Anna Hart.
Actual ASL, yes. I got a few questions from the people that I showed that to, and this will go up live on my channel pretty soon. But yeah, real sign language, though, this is not what people refer to when they say signing. That's a very different language. I just took a few words from the lyrics, basically to get the main point across. And there you go. It was fun.
Well,
I'm
there you
still working on more of it.
good. Next time you'll give me the full version.
Yeah.
Tracy, how are you?
Hey,
Tracy,
sir.
look, big
Hey,
chills.
Tracy.
Got the all right, man, Tracy. Tracy, let's change locations. I like it.
No,
I
I
like
haven't.
it. You haven't, because I ain't never seen that door behind you before.
No, that's the hallway to the bedroom.
Oh.
Okay.
It's been there since I moved here.
How long have you been in your house now, Trace?
July, August, September, October. 5 months.
Yeah.
And you enjoying it so far?
No furniture, but hey, whatever.
You'll get there.
You'll get there. Let's
You'll
go ahead and pay those bills. Of course, Saturday Night Vibe is coming on next Saturday at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Please help support Tracy at buymeacoffee.com/Tracy Media LLC. Help support Tracy in all of her endeavors. Please do not forget to go to Anna Hart's website, BorelliEtc.com. Help support her, learn something that you didn't think you need to know, but you should. And as always, if you need to leave me anything, you can do so at radtp@outlook.com. That's RADTP@outlook.com.
2 more months till January.
Yeah, boy. 2 more months. Um,
Now you're not gonna say
special,
anything about this the first time I've been back and it's a full panel. You're not gonna say nothing.
we had a full. Oh, it is the first time in a long time we've had a full panel. Yes, it is. First time in a long time we've had a full panel. So yeah, sorry. This is a rare occasion. I was gonna get to the other bit of news that is gonna make some people happy. It's gonna make some people sad. Sorry. So come next month, we are doing for the 16th to whatever, the 16th Friday. So we're going to have 3 shows back to back, starting on the 16th of December. Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, 8, 9, 8, to do our worst blank of the year. So there's the good news. The bad news is because we have did Friday, Saturday, and Sunday in the month of Christmas and partial New Year's, that means you will not see us until after the new year. So no, we're not taking a week off. We'll be taking 2 weeks off. However, here is the reason why we're doing 3 shows back to back. I will be busy because, and it ain't gonna affect me one way or the other because I'm taking the last 6 freaking days off of December. So I will be able to break down all of those videos to put in to fill up the 2 weeks. So yes, you will have a video showing every day for the next 2 weeks. Every day. Do not also forget that Tracy will have a New Year's Eve video coming up.
Right.
So if you want to celebrate with her, feel free. You know, there are some people who don't have family or friends or don't want to deal with family and friends and want to chill out at home and everything and look at videos and relax and unwind and get ready for the new year. Well, Tracy is going to provide that for you. So please make sure you tune in to her show and show her support. But again, starting December 16th, Hannah, I'm hoping I'm saying the date right. December 16th is the day that we will be starting our show on Friday and then on Sunday, and then we're taking the rest of the year off, if you want to say it that way.
Y'all sure are.
So we're gonna have some fun.
Friday the 15th of
15th.
Friday
December
Yes,
the
Friday
15th,
the 15th. Saturday
Friday
the
the
to
16th.
and
Sunday the
17th.
8th.
okay.
Okay.
I,
So 3 days, 3
You know
nights.
what that means? There's 3 people's birthdays coming up. Thea's, Anna, and me.
Really in the month of December? God,
No.
I feel like
Thea's
well,
is in
no,
November.
November. Anna's is
November.
December, and I'm January.
Yep.
wow.
Like we're
And
all
then we
right behind each other in terms of
and then we
months.
Yeah.
skip and then we skip a funky month in February, and then it's me.
Hey,
I
February is
feel,
Black History
March.
Month.
woo, I got to work on that.
And we have 29 days this
Sure
year.
do. We get an extra day for Black History Month.
Yep. And I'm gonna tell you right now, the same thing I did last year for February is the same thing I'm doing next year too. The
I am
unknown.
looking forward to talking about finally the life of Ona Judge Staines, an incredible life and touched many people who were taught about. So
Yep.
it will be fun.
It'll be
Well, not
fun.
fun, but it
And
will be
next,
interesting. There we go. Sorry.
and next year will be our 4th season.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah.
Wow.
Next year will be our 4th season.
Congratulations, everyone.
All right. Am I the a-hole? So this is the video that I held off showing last night because I wanted Theus to be on here because I guarantee you his take on this is going to be fantastic. I already had my take on it, and the first time I was listening to it, I was, oh, you brother. I done burned out on that now. The year is almost over. I can't bring myself to, manufacture a F anymore. I'd rather just be done with you and move on about my business. The title of it is Girlfriend Will Not Tip.
Please keep in mind that this is a story from the United States where tipping culture is still prevalent. Okay, so this is going to sound petty. I promise you it isn't to me. We've been dating for almost 2 years, and in almost every way, she is the one for me. I want to get married to her. However, I realize this sounds so petty, but for some reason, this bothers me so much more than it should. She has the absolute worst restaurant etiquette. 1, she barely tips. We both have good jobs. Money is not a problem for her or I. We kind of take turns paying when eating out. I normally tip 20%, maybe a little more or less, depending on the situation. Over the weekend, she tipped $3 on a $46 bill. Sometimes I've tried to leave cash on the table, but she gets upset, takes it, hands it back to me. We've only had a few fights, and almost every one of them have started like this. She is absolutely convinced that throwing a few dollars is more than enough. She gets all of this from her family. Her parents took us out last Christmas to a very expensive steakhouse. Her dad made an absolute scene and production of tipping $20 on a $500 plus bill because it's the holidays. Okay, so he tipped $20 on a $500 bill and said he was doing it because it was the holidays. 2, she sends almost every dish back. Something is always wrong with whatever she ordered. The hamburger is not done enough or done too much. There's dirt in the lettuce in her salad. The pasta isn't cooked enough. You get the idea. Every time. 3, she expects the waitstaff to be paying attention to her needs instantaneously and doesn't tip to compensate for that extra attention. She's not necessarily verbally abusive towards them, but she keeps making demands. Water or iced tea needs to be constantly refilled. We need more napkins. This fork is dirty, etc. If she's expecting or asking for something and that person isn't right there, she'll start asking me loudly where they are to get some attention. 4, she argues over the bill every time, demanding to speak with the manager to have something taken off or reduced because she wasn't satisfied. It doesn't matter if it's Applebee's or the Capitol Grill, never pay the full amount. I am 100% sure that this all comes from how her parents act at restaurants. I've seen them do this every time that we've eaten out together. It isn't a money thing either, they're not struggling. It is to the point that I don't like going out to eat because what I know is about to happen. She is completely aware of how tipping is supposed to work, but insists that it is optional and to stop throwing money away. There's no other situations where she has this antisocial behavior except at a restaurant. I cannot get my mind around it. Everywhere else she is kind, reasonable, sweet, but as soon as she's in a restaurant, she turns into this. How the hell do I convince her that this type of behavior needs to change and is really bothersome and antisocial? I've tried explaining time and time again, and it goes in one ear and out the other.
I don't even know what that look is, Anna.
No, I'd say.
I'm talking about Anna has this look on her
Oh.
face like I don't know what that is.
That's my WTF.
Yeah, it's
Sorry.
not gonna-
Yeah. This is one of those times where people are stuck on the principle. She doesn't feel that tipping is right, and that now here I'm going to project onto her where she feels that if you're going to be in business, you should pay your people to do their job, and then it's completely up to me if I'm going to tip beyond that. I've heard that before, but that's only justifiable if the rest of your behavior isn't abhorrent. So
Yeah.
people like to state the principle and then hide behind said principle to do really dark and just mean things. I'm not going to take all that off because personally, I feel a person who's like her is just beneath my attention. And I know people, but you shouldn't look at it. Well, fuck that. But to him, you can't raise a grown person. And so if this is who she is, I mean, did he say this is his wife? I think he said it's his wife. I don't remember.
Girlfriend or wife? I'm not sure.
Okay.
I think wife. I think.
It
So-
was a girlfriend.
Okay, so this isn't that hard. It'd be harder if it was your wife, but still be the exact same thing to me. look, the way you are when we go out to eat, I don't like it. It doesn't work for me. It makes me really uncomfortable. I'm not going out to eat with you. We're done. And she can throw her fit and do all of that, but balls in your court. Either you're gonna break up with me because now I'm not going nowhere with you. You're ashamed of me. Yes, yes, I'm ashamed. I'm ashamed of your behavior. I very much am. I can't do that. That's not how I was raised. It may be how you were raised. It's not how I was raised. We might do great on so many other levels, but you're showing me how you view people whose job it is to take care of you. And so, no, I'm not gonna go out to eat with you. We can eat in, whatever, but I'm not going out. So we would have a perfectly normal life every day of the week until that one day where it's like, hey, we should go. No, I'm not going. You and your parents have a good time. I'm not going. And that's just be what it was.
Would you forsake restaurants like for the rest of the time? Would you just go by yourself if you wanted to? I'm curious.
I'm not. I don't know how I really would follow the full question because I still can go out to eat. I just can't go out with her. And we can
Okay.
go places that don't involve tipping, right? We're gonna go to Chipotle, and she's gonna be like, "I'm not going to tip." Okay, but the real issue for me with her is not even the tipping. The tipping is like I said, you can have a principled opinion on tipping because personally, I feel like it's wrong the way American tip culture is. It's just a way for companies to be in business that really shouldn't be in business. Because if you can't afford to pay for your staff, you don't need to be in business. But it's the other stuff, how she treats people,
Yes.
and that I couldn't get past that. So we would either be like, I mean, knowing me, we probably just go ahead and break up and you go your way, I'll go mine. I mean, let's be real. If it's my wife, I don't know how we got to this point.
Yeah, we wouldn't.
But a girlfriend, yeah, you know me, I break up with her and move on. There's more of them out there. We'll get another one.
Yeah, I cannot stand to be with somebody who would talk down to anybody else. That's just me. You're gonna I'm gonna be looking for somebody who at least can show respect, if not some admiration, for a good job done. I have been known I overtip, as people say, but I don't think really there is such a thing. I'm telling somebody that I really felt taken care of. I wanted for nothing tonight. You went above and beyond, and it is terrible that you're right. They should be paid to do their jobs. They are not. They oftentimes don't have enough for their own food, for their own rent. Tipping is what keeps them afloat. And so for me, that's never going to go under 20-25%. I cannot. If in one instance in my entire life, because my mother taught me my tipping practices, I saw her leave a quarter for one person, and that person just was, they did not do their job well. They did not, there was no consideration, I guess. So, but even then, I still felt kind of bad, like, ooh, that wasn't my experience. I couldn't say, no, we can't do that or anything like that. But once you understand that, look, a lot of people have to deal with such crappy attitudes throughout their entire workday. maybe you can just take a moment, step back, understand it's not personal. It's just a sucky day. So, no, I would be leaving somebody like that, and that's disgusting behavior.
All right, Tracy, I'll let you have the last word before I say something.
What in the entire world is wrong with people? She takes money that he puts on the table for a staff person and she hands it back. You trifling Scrooge McDuck person. Why don't you sit down somewhere and shut up? Usually I don't go with this break up with them rule because I think there's circumstance. Yeah, break up with this one. Leave her. Run. Don't be with her. This is how she treats people. This is how she treats people. I cannot stand to go out with people and they don't want a tip and they argue about the meal to get something. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, that annoys me. Annoys
That's the
me.
one for
Annoys
me.
me. Annoys me. You knew, you saw the menu, you knew it was going to cost something. If you complain about everything, here's the alternative: cook for yourself. That way, it'll be exactly how you like it. But you're so used to putting people down that you just have to complain about everything. Look, Wicked Witch of the West, shut up, go home, don't do anything anymore. Don't eat out. They should put you in the children's room. Because that's where you no, you don't even deserve to be in the children's room. You need to be banned from restaurants. Nobody should serve you. You should go to one of those buffet lines where you can just eat whatever you want and serve yourself because you'll never be happy. You'll never be, nothing's ever going to be good enough for you. You're going to complain about everything: the bathroom, the utensils, the cups, the napkins. Girl, shut up. Shut up. And that, I'm done.
Okay, here's my answer. It's kind of piggybacking off of this. First of all, I'm automatically gonna look at you sideways and probably gonna be a little pissed off if I put money down on the table, you grab it and hand it to me as if to tell me what the hell I could do with my damn money. So this is where we're gonna have an issue because nobody tells me unless we married what I can do with the money I work for. Now you want to be an a-hole? Cool. But you're not going to be able to control me and what I deem you're doing wrong on. And you want me to be a part of that. Second of all, yeah, I'm with Thea's on everything. I said the exact same thing. I'm not going out to a restaurant with you ever again. And if you want to bust out with, oh, you ashamed of me at a restaurant? Yes, I'm absolutely ashamed of you. Absolutely. We could go through a fast through. We could go to a drive through. We could go to, Tracy said, a buffet. Hell, I have a feeling you'll still complain about that, but who cares at that damn point? It's a damn buffet. But if you show your butt at a buffet, then now we're back to drive through a bus. Because I don't. The funny thing about dating to me when I got older is I really don't actually have to be with you. We're dating. I honestly don't have to be with you. It is not mandatory. If there is an issue that I have with you, let's go ahead and squash this now. Let's move on our separate ways. I'm going to find somebody who can show respect to everyone who shows respect to them. And you can go find somebody who agrees with your, I don't even know what to call it, your way of life, I guess.
Narcissism.
Because I'm sorry, I can't deal with somebody who I have to constantly think you're really thinking to yourself, how am I know I'm not going to give them jack squat, and now I'm going to come up with the same reasoning for not giving you jack squat. So we're starting off at that base right there, Tracy. The base level is I know I don't want to pay this whole bill, and I know I'm not going to tip. So I'm going to come up with every reason above board, as you pretty much done ate every damn thing on your plate,
Yep.
of why I'm not going to pay you. I can't deal with that. And here again, I'm not going to deal with that, and I don't have to.
And he
That's
gonna
what
sit there
makes
and say
dating so
she's nice
beautiful.
in every way. No, she's not. You're just ignoring
No,
it.
Tracy. She may absolutely be, but this is a heel
Trust
I
me,
just
Mom.
can't get over.
If she's this way in some things, it's gonna slip over into other stuff. She
No,
ain't just this
I'm gonna
way.
tell you what kind of person this is, Tracy. People like this, who other people who look down on people, they will never ever do that anywhere close to their peers. No,
That's
no,
because again, they're narcissists. They're
no.
self-absorbing
They know
tyrants.
they know there's a consequence with that.
Oh, and that too. But
Yeah. So they
she's
would
like
never do
this
that
in other
around
areas.
your
He's just
friends.
ignoring them.
She would never do that around her friends, his friends, at work, and things
She
like
did
that.
do it around his friends. She
Well,
did
she
it
do it
with
everywhere.
him. She
Yeah.
really
That's who
did.
she
She did
is.
do it around her friends.
Narcissists are
Yeah, this
concerned
is
with
who she
their
is.
Themselves.
image
She's concerned with herself, and
and her
Oh, yeah.
image.
I
yeah.
didn't
That's
even
a,
know
you
that
know, a
part.
narcissist
Okay. Yeah.
needs approval from everybody around them.
Oh, okay.
It's
That makes my answer even easier. No, I'm good.
no.
No,
And I'll
she's
be
like
honest
this
with
in
you, at a
other
certain
areas.
point, I kind of want to start thinking, you
I
know
agree.
what? I'm just gonna pull a theist and just go, we're done. Because I keep thinking to myself, there's a story. I didn't play it on here.
It's
But
like they said, people who take care of her,
Yep, because she deserves to be
nurses.
taken care of.
yeah, so
Right.
you go with those people.
And if I was the manager, she would pay double. I don't know why. I would just make her pay double just
If
because you got on my nerves.
one, you can't, and
I
two,
know. I'm just saying, if I could,
You
yeah.
mean there's not
and
an
the funny thing
aggravation
about it
fee?
is
Hey,
number
if
two.
restaurants, but Marlon, if restaurants can charge a fee for bad children now, which I think about time somebody did that.
When did
Really?
that happen?
Yes, there are restaurants now charging fees to people with obnoxious children that don't act right in public, and it's the greatest idea. I don't know why nobody's ever thought
I
of
don't
this.
agree with that absolutely at
I
all.
do. You need to control your children.
Wait, what
And
are
who
we talking about? Like a crying baby
No, not a
or
crying baby. No, no, no,
Talking
no,
about
no,
bad
no.
kids.
Yeah, we're talking about
bad?
like bad kids, like they run
Okay,
around and they play with stuff and they're all up in people. Yeah,
okay,
we're not talking about like a crying baby. Everybody understands a crying baby. They're a
cool.
baby.
Yeah, I didn't understand what
Yes,
the
and it's
scope was.
about dang on time, and I want to find them restaurants and eat at them. Get tired of mama, mama, mama. Shut up!
Okay, thank you, Tracy, because that's my point. That's why I don't like that rule. Mama, 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 don't make them a bad kid. It's a kid
No,
that's
but when
saying
they're
mama,
running
mama,
around the
mama.
store, when they're running around the restaurant,
If they're running around the restaurant and the parents are not doing anything,
yeah,
if
they
they're
just sitting
knocking
there eating.
glasses off over and over again, there's a difference between what is a bad child who's undisciplined and something that's just
Yeah.
getting on your nerves.
Well, everything gets on my nerves. But anyway,
Yes, and you want to,
You
and
you
so
need an adult only restaurant, honey.
don't I
yeah.
go? Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Those are called strip clubs.
yeah, they are. And I'm not going to one of those. But there
You
are
don't have
adult
to
only
watch that
cruises.
part.
There are only adult cruises.
Yeah.
True.
But you get tired of
And
kids just running around, getting in fights, hitting each other. I'm like, so could you control them?
now I'm gonna tell you something right here,
One
right
time a
now.
kid threw his biscuit at me. Ooh, ooh.
But you
One
know,
mother told me to hit her
but let me
child. I
say
was
this
like, wait a
real
minute,
quick.
ma'am. I don't be hitting other people's children. That ain't something I'm gonna be doing. That not something, that's
That
your child.
that conversation ended and you better come get your child.
That's just some bad parenting. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, the parents just sitting there like, yeah, da, da, da. You're
My
not gonna
kid
say
is
nothing.
exploring,
Yes, she
Fuck
throwing
that.
food, I've seen children throw food at their parents, and the parents just sit there and like, boy, if that was me, and I did that to my mother, oh no, I don't think I'd be here today.
I would
I literally
never.
don't think I would be here today.
No.
Yeah, but that I can see. I would. I got to tell everybody the mama that's here now is a mama trying to get into heaven because that is not the mama that raised me at all. Period. Point blank. End of discussion.
You
You know.
see, the thing
Did you
about
behave
the
yourself?
charging for the kid
Greatest
that I
invention
don't,
ever.
yeah, I don't know. Like I'm not against it, but it's like, how do you do it, right? Because we
Mm.
live in a society that punishes anything and everything,
No, it's
right?
got to be a level.
You can lose your entire restaurant um, just because of a misunderstanding, right? Or you could be completely in your right. The child is just going, nuts.
Mm.
But what will happen is it's going to hit the news, and then you're going to get labeled whatever way, and then they're going to be protesting outside your restaurant because whatever the kid version of PETA is will show up,
The kid
and
version.
Cheetah.
now here you go. So
Gee.
it's like, as a business owner, you're almost left to the mercy of some of these things.
I cannot stand to go to a
I
restaurant.
hear that.
It's a difference when the baby's crying, a little baby, not some child that's 3 or 4 years old. You need
Yeah.
to stop crying. You need to stop crying.
I really don't believe you should be bringing an infant that small.
Ooh, child, you ain't been to some of the restaurants I'd have been to. They bring their babies, their
Unless you know.
grandbabies, the babies' babies, and the babies' babies' babies.
Yep. And the big,
I
you
don't.
know, when I was at when I was with my grandfather when he passed away in 1997, we were at the Cranbrook, BC nursing home for it was the reservation basically. And so he would be asleep a lot, and I'd go and visit the other people because there was just nobody visiting. This one woman would sit in the little, an alcove where you get kind of like 4 seats if you don't want to visit with family inside your room. And she would just rock and repeat, and the babies, and the babies, and the babies, and the babies. And I see what she meant. Resting in power now. It could apply to many, many things, but
There's places that adults don't belong, and there's places that children don't belong.
mm,
But somehow we just don't know the difference.
All right, everybody. Let's go ahead and move on. R- Real or nah? Now I'm pretty clear. I'm pretty clear on my stance of which way I'm going with this. But these always have me just thinking that sometimes these stories are so fake because they so on the nose. It's like, are you sure you're thinking the way you should be thinking, or are you just like trolling, or did you just make this story up? because believe it or not, I wholeheartedly believe there are people who are on social media who says the opposite of everything just to piss people off.
Yep.
That's their joy in life.
Yep.
So I'm gonna go ahead and play this story, and y'all tell me, is it real or is it not?
I, 30 female, have been best friends with Aiden, 30 male, since high school. When I say friends, I mean it. I contemplated him as a dating prospect for a bit in college, but figured it wouldn't go anywhere, so I never pursued it. I can't say if he ever had the same feelings, we've never discussed it. Aiden's been dating Jessica, 30 female, for about 3 years. I'm happy for them, but I must admit, Jessica and I never truly warmed up to each other. She wasn't the girl I pictured Aiden to end up with. She comes from a wealthy family and is always put together. Aiden is middle class and very outdoorsy. I do feel at times Aiden prioritized their relationship over his other friendships, but I can understand why at times. However, things have started to change a bit for the worse. Aiden and I would always discuss how we wanted to be involved in each other's weddings, planning included. Aiden is going to have me be a groom woman, which I'm assuming Jessica is fine with. We've been chatting about bachelor parties, and he's come with what I consider to be a strict list. I'm assuming it's Jessica's doing. What has really irked me is that Jessica isn't letting me be involved in wedding dress shopping. I asked Aiden to suggest my being involved since I'm someone who knows him best. I want her to look fantastic for him that day, and I know Aiden would prefer some styles to others. Jessica reached out to me, and while she appreciated my offer to come, she said she was keeping it small and really only wanted her mom, her grandmother, and her maid of honor there with her. I texted her that I understand, but I felt that it was important enough to be there as well because I can give her an idea of what Aiden would want. She responded to me that she and Aiden had discussed things, and while he has preferences, he also said that she would look great in anything. This is one of the biggest choices for her to make. I called her selfish and said that it seems to me that the only one making choices in the relationship was her, that she didn't seem to care about Aiden's feelings. She didn't respond to me after that, but I got a call from Aiden asking what the hell had gotten into me. I told him what happened, and he told me that it was unacceptable what I had done, and he needed a few days to cool down and process. He told me not to call or text him at all and be prepared that I may be uninvited from the wedding because this is his first instinct. I'm devastated, and I'm not sure what is going on. My friends, who are also Aiden's friends, think I wasn't out of line, but others think I was.
Oh boy.
It's pretty easy.
Yeah, this is gonna be a simple one. This is real or not, right?
Mm-hmm.
Correct.
Oh, okay. Wait a
I'll,
minute.
I'll, go ahead, Tracy. You go first.
There's more to this, and I want to see the other half before I start talking.
I don't have one. I don't have one. That's it.
Oh, okay. But it gets worse, right?
If it does, I still don't have it.
I'm like, wait a minute. I just feel like there's something missing to this one.
No, that's pretty cut and dry.
I don't have anything else.
You have an answer, Tracy?
I don't. It sounds real. It
I
sounds
think
like
it's real.
it sounds like she's jealous. Cause why would I want? Oh shoot! Come back to me, cause I'm like, I can go either way on this one.
This is real. I'm taking it the best friend and the bride are both women because of how they spoke about her being a groom. And she rocks more with the husband.
Anna, let me stop you.
Groomswoman.
The OP of it is a woman. The best friend is the groom.
Right.
Oh, okay.
I ain't
Right.
never heard no groomswoman a day in my life, but hey, you do it
Not
make sense to
poised.
you.
I've heard a flower, like a maid of honor be groom. But what it is, the man? Oh,
I ain't never seen that either, but like I said, do what works for you.
It's your wedding.
I think the whole thing is silly anyway, so whatever happens during that day just happens. Just get your vows done.
My mother had a best man who dressed up in a suit, sparkle gold Converse, She was styling, but didn't want to be in a dress, didn't want to be a maid kind of thing. Okay.
This is what courthouses are for. Why y'all wasting all this money getting me? Just go to the courthouse. Oh my gosh.
Remember, the bride has money. What comes from money?
Oh well, well in that case, it is her responsibility to pay for it. Oh, okay, yeah, go out, go all out for it.
She has every right to say who she wants to
Once
be
to
there for her
her,
dress. And
yeah.
I'm pretty sure that she has a pretty good idea if she's about to become legally tied to this person of what they want.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, the friend need to she need to
This
make a
is
new
over it.
friend. This is over. Nah, she can't be doing this. What romantic comedy was it with Jennifer Lopez? And she was trying to stop the wedding. And oh wait a minute.
Maid of honor.
That's it, thank you. I was like, wait a minute.
Cause I love J Lo.
Yeah, there you go. Okay, because
Actually, don't call me. I'll get in trouble.
Call me.
don't call me.
Not interested.
I'm
Love
good.
me some J Lo.
I'm good.
I think it's
J
real.
Lo or Mariah Carey?
Yeah,
J Lo.
J Lo over Mariah Carey?
Yep.
if it's the month of
I
December,
like
it's Mariah.
It's the month of December.
it is not as November.
No, we're
No, I'm talking
saying
about
it's in our situation.
in this
Oh.
situation. It's the month of December. J Lo or Mariah Carey?
It's still J Lo. I can turn on Mariah Carey song anytime I want to.
You only know one Mariah song. I mean,
No,
No.
she's a big part of my playlist.
Uh-huh.
I love me some Mariah now,
She
but
came
I
out in middle
love me some
school
J
for
Lo
me.
and some Salma Hayek.
oh no, not Selma Hayek.
Mm.
Oh, why we gotta go down the side
Hey,
road?
I love accents,
Oh
But J Lo doesn't have an
God.
accent.
He was talking about some.
but she's Puerto Rican Boricua, and I love Puerto Rican women too.
Mm.
well, I'm
Again,
saying
so y'all
I
know
love all
me
kinds of women.
growing up, all my girlfriends up until I moved to Atlanta, with the exception of maybe two, were all Latinas. That's all
Okay,
I dated
Mm.
for
but
like 6 years.
what were their last names?
I don't know.
Interesting.
and you know what,
I don't
Tracy?
know.
You can't even use that. Like that's years ago. I don't even know the last names of the women I dated. Now,
Yeah, because you don't remember them. He never took the time to
yeah,
learn them.
he never took them at all.
It
Why
was just,
would
oh,
he?
I don't. Something
Because
is
you don't
telling me
replace the
this story
last
is
name with
not.
nicknames, though.
Yeah,
Yeah, I gave them
Like
nicknames, and some of
something
the
is
nicknames I reuse, but it's whatever.
and you
something
tell
is
me what
telling me this
nicknames you
story is
reuse.
fake. I don't
High,
know why. I
diggity.
just keep hearing fake. It just reminds me
No,
of that
but
movie too much.
I think the story is real because I think that people who are very close friends can sometimes get over their skis.
Yeah.
And I think that just because the person isn't your romantic interest, there's still love in there, and you are of the opposite sex, so you can have that energy is still there. It's just something you
Mhm.
would never act on, or you not been in the right situation to act on. Is probably the better way to put it. Um, so I
Possibly.
can see it's all it. But my thing is, um, you way over your skis. You know, like
For real
this,
though.
this, this don't belong to you. But hold on, y'all.
Yeah, she has absolutely no right to,
None. If
even if
she
even if she was correct that she knew the guy like the back of her hand, knew what he liked, it still doesn't matter.
She doesn't want you there with her dress. Respect her wishes. Shut up. Be in the wedding. Be a groomswoman and keep it moving. But if
Mm-hmm.
I was the groom to be, if I was the bride to be, she couldn't be in the wedding. I'm gonna just keep mine real and petty. I'm just gonna keep it petty. I don't like to be
That's
petty.
not pettiness. That's
No,
hidden toxicity.
No, I
that's,
mean, even if
that's I
he,
know him better than you. And
And that's what bothers Anna. That's what bothers me so much is
mhm,
this is her
yeah, not
wedding dress that she's gonna wear at the wedding,
one
mhm,
time.
and you still looking at it as yeah, but I know what his taste is, so
He's
I'm
not
going
wearing it.
to put your wedding dress together. You're muted, Theus. Your wedding dress together to please him. I don't know no bride on the face of the planet who has that thought process.
Or
Now,
groom.
I'm not saying that it doesn't exist, but I ain't never heard a bride that sit there and go, okay, I like this pattern, but he likes this pattern, so it has to be his pattern that it no. There are women, whether you want to believe it, agree with it, condone it, whatever. I'm not even going to get into that. That's not what I'm not even going to get into that conversation to go a different branch of the universe. There are women who dream about their fantasy wedding since they were kids.
mhm,
How they wanted to look, what they would look like, the color pattern, the flowers, the venue, the food, um, the whole kit and caboodle since they were little girls. And they have the ability now, such as this woman right here, who has the ability to pay for exactly what it is that they want.
How did she think she had a right to say what the wedding dress
Yeah,
was? Like what?
Because
but
she
she's
overstepped
trying to.
the
She's trying to.
hold on. I mean, she overstepped, even if she has no romantic comment, because I'm not going to do the whole jealousy thing. But let's just make it more
it's just
simplified
that
for
she knew
this.
better.
She really thinks that her friendship outweighs their relationship.
Yep.
Yeah, it does it. And then, if you remember in the video, or when he was reading it, she said, "Well, he puts her first." Well, duh, he's gonna marry her. He should put her first.
Mm,
Isn't that the whole idea of marriage? You put your spouse above your friends. I Maybe that's just me thinking. I'm just thinking out loud here.
Go ahead, Theus.
Well, I mean, to me, it's just a matter of even if she's not conscious of what she's trying to do here, she's trying to sabotage the relationship. Like
yeah,
you are sitting here saying, "I know your man better than you do,"
right.
and so that's where the battle comes in. So I take the groomswoman thing. Like that was the first. You got to be kidding me. And
Really? Wow.
No, I thought that's the
and
least.
given their dynamic, yeah, but given the way this thing continue to flow out, you know what I'm saying? Why ain't you compete to be a bridesmaid? What you doing over here?
Because she'd already
So
selected her bridesmaids. That was on his
okay,
side.
so then there's his side. He's choosing his friends to be on his side. Cool. Like I said, yeah, I'm giving you my opinion. You know what I'm saying? Y'all got a different opinion, rock with it.
Yep.
But to me, that's the first one. Is just like, wait a minute. But that was his call. But then she goes and she starts trying to get input on the dress. And then you saying, I know your man better than you do. It,
That one, see,
and no, 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 no. If
It
you
was
that
the
really are my
latter.
best friend like that, your number one interest is how do I
Support my
get
friend.
my best friend what he wants most? And
Hey,
he's chosen this woman as his woman.
yeah.
So you decrease so that can go down. And it's tacky. It's
If
tacky.
I'm the bride to be, he got to dish her. She got to go. She's gone. Bye. See you later. Wouldn't don't
well,
let the door hit you. Bye.
In a lot of cases, when a partner is trying to separate you from your friends, that is a red flag. In this case, however, it is not.
All right,
Either
everybody.
she really wants him for herself and she just never realized that, and she's like doing what Thea said,
She
trying to
hasn't admitted to
sabotage.
herself. Yeah,
Yeah, because some people
possibly.
just they like suppress their feelings and then they just kind of run it. But when she said you don't know him better than I, that'd have been scrapping.
Hey,
We,
LL is in the house, and that is absolutely perfect timing because we're going to move on to Mafia video of the week. If you wasn't at the beginning of this show, I did tell, and I don't even think you was here yet.
no, sorry, saying goodbye to family.
Mafia video of the week is a little different, a lot different actually. It's not
Is it
so much.
Parker?
No,
No?
I'm gonna show
sorry.
Parker's next week.
Oh.
Mafia video week is a combination of a video and a question. The reason I have to ask the question is because me and Foxy has talked about this question all week long. All week.
Okay.
We're on totally different ways of thinking this. I had her write down the question so she can't come back and go, that's not the question that I said. So I had her write the question down.
Okay.
I'm going to show you a video that started this questioning. It is not the whole video. It's literally 30 seconds. It's at the beginning. Please do not get, off track with, well, now I need to know what happened in the story. It is totally irrelevant. It is literally totally irrelevant. It's the beginning of the video, and then I will ask the question. So, cool? We good? All right. Here is the 30-second video which sparked the question.
I, 55 female, am child-free, but I am the aunt and godmother to several children and or young adults whom I love. This includes my bio niece, Claire, 25 female, through my sister, and I am not close to her at all. Not like I ever was, though. I'm honestly not sure if I ever loved Claire because I was already out living my life as a young adult when she was born and wasn't really around her when she was super young. And I've never been a love at first sight type of person for anyone. I just have to get to know and warm up to someone before I love them.
Okay.
I can't comment on something like that one in context.
I haven't literally out of my head and said that you understand. And I said there's a question.
I know.
You the person that I'll be the teacher and say, could you just step out in the hallway and I'll just go with everybody else and I'll just write down the stuff and tell you to do it.
Oh. Wow.
He goes
You're
and walks out
arguing
to the
again,
hallway. Now go to the office.
I'm not going to the office. I'm gonna stand right here in the hallway and I'm gonna talk through the door. That's what I'm gonna do. You want me in the hallway? I'm in the hallway.
That really creeps me out.
All right, here we go.
Oh my gosh. Wait. That was perfect. Yes,
I'm gonna go step out in the hallway. That's what you said. Here's the question.
Okay.
Should you automatically love your family because they are your family?
Oh, I already know my answer.
I got
I'm
questions.
gonna give you my answer last. Foxy's gonna give next to last. I'm gonna give you my answer last. Next to last, Foxy is gonna give you her answer last.
Can I ask a question?
Sure.
What degrees of family are we talking? Because this is about his
Family
niece.
period. Family period. Blood related.
Oh, that makes it too easy for me right there.
Mm-hmm. Theus, you want to go first?
Yeah, sure. No, I ain't got to love your ass because family is a sign of, that just happened. So, no, I ain't got to love you. I probably do because I'm not weird. But, no, But I mean, it depends on how far are you talking. So that's why I was asking. Because if you're talking about my brothers and sisters, then yeah, I gotta love you. Period. I gotta love you because that's my blood. That's right there. Ups and downs and all that good stuff. Even if we grow apart or we have some real bad situation and we ended up hating each other, I still love you. I just can't
Mhm.
stand you, right? But
Mhm.
then you start talking second cousins and nieces and great aunts, and I ain't got to have no feeling for you whatsoever because really you could be just like a stranger to me. I never met you. I don't know you. And then there's the whole godly love, and that's a whole different thing. And then yeah, I love you because I love all people. I love
Yep.
people. You know what I'm saying? But
Yep.
there's levels of that too. I can love you and still sit there and watch you burn. So it's
Yep. Yep.
All right, Anna, Tracy.
There you go.
Okay. I would say because the definition of love here is what are we talking about? Are we talking about um I'm gonna give you pretty much what I give everybody else, a chance and a hmm, yeah, a love for humanity. I might grow into, hating some parts about the person, but like my grandparents, my maternal grandparents, their family, I loved them. They were racist motherfuckers who treated their children horribly. And I don't have to be, I don't have to accept every single part, especially if you are that far gone from my, um, what the hell am I trying to say?
like your moral or belief system.
Thank, thank you. Yeah, you can be far away from my morals, but I can still love you, as family. But I still go back to, there's a difference between there's biological and then there's logical. And a lot of times I am much more tightly connected to my logical family than my blood family.
And then the other thing we didn't touch on, like
Hmm?
Anna just touched on with love, right? There's familial love, which is kind of it's a level above social love, right? So
Hmm.
you got your social love or spiritual love, you got your familial love, and then it's got like your I'm in love, and
Romantic.
then somewhere in there it could be I'll give you a kidney love, right? So
Right.
if we talking about family, so hopefully we ain't talking about the relationship love. Stop it. But we could be talking about, I love you. I don't want to see nothing bad happen to you, but I'm not giving you no organs.
Hmm.
All right, Tracy.
My answer is pretty simple, and I think when I say it, y'all could be like, "Yeah, Tracy, you would say something like that." I'm commanded to love, whether you Donald Trump, Joe Biden, Marlon Theus, Anna, the cousin that picks at his nose in public. Whether I like you, don't like you, I'm commanded to love. I can't be a disciple and say, "I don't love you." That's the basis of everything I believe. So I'm commanded to love. Now that doesn't mean we're bosom buddies or I excuse everything you do. No, because you
Right.
have to have accountability. But I'm commanded to love. God is love. So that's my answer. And I'm just waiting for things to say, I knew you was gonna go there.
No, I actually had a whole different set of comments, but I'm trying to do better with myself.
I really was I attempted to disqualify that answer, but I was out.
What's wrong with my
No,
I
answer?
had to go
no,
to church
no.
today, and it was a painful experience.
I thought about
Oh, I'm
that,
sorry.
about what the Bible says about love everybody and blah blah. But Foxy said, no, you can't take that out because if that's their beliefs, and
Yeah,
that's
that's
what
my
they base it
belief.
off of. That so okay. You want to go first, or should I?
There's also mine.
Huh?
Well,
Yeah.
while they debate that, so and
Hold
Yeah.
on,
church
Foxy.
wasn't terrible.
Hold on, y'all. Hold on. Go ahead, Foxy.
So the reason why this question came up is that if you heard the video,
We can't
the
hear
lady
her.
was saying that she didn't think she had love for her niece because she didn't have a bond or relationship because she was in her 20s and she was doing her own thing. So when the niece was born or growing up or whatever.
Mhm.
So that immediately struck a chord with me because I'm like, how can you not love your family? And how can you put it out in the atmosphere that, hey, I didn't love her? That to me, I thought that was the meanest thing a person could say. That's your family. Even if you don't have a close bond with them, that's still a person that's in your family. So I have plenty of family members that I don't have a close bond with, but I
Mhm.
love them. If they call me, I'm gonna go and see about them. So
Right.
even if they did something despicable, I still have love for them. There's levels to that word love. So yeah, even if you're a second cousin, I know you, I love you. Maybe we can do lunch, or something to get closer. But you still have a certain amount of love for family, and I think it should be automatic. It shouldn't be something that you earn. So that's my answer.
That's the problem with it, though, isn't it,
I hear
Foxy? I
that.
mean, when you're looking at the word love, it's far too vague a term. We can all make it mean whatever we want it to because love is such an abstract term if you really kind of get down to it.
All right.
As LL is saying, and actually, they make a really good point. What love are we talking about here?
Well, we
Okay.
don't love
I'm
people
gonna
the
make
same
mine. I'm gonna
way.
make mine a little simpler. Then I'll make mine a little simpler. I ain't got no love for you if I don't know you. I just don't. I know that's astonishing and shocking and oh my gosh and
No,
blood,
not
fire,
coming
and
from you is
brimstone
not.
falling from the sky and all that other stuff. I am that person, like what she said. I do literally need to have some type of bond with you. I have more love for the people on this panel do I have with my third cousin from South Carolina, who I didn't even know existed.
But we could be
That's
your
not a level.
cousins.
That's literally not a level because I'm
Especially at the Red House.
I have love. I have
Or
no
the
love for the people from the Red House at all. Period.
people's houses.
I have no love for anybody from the Red House, but I have love for the people who are on this panel than I would for a second cousin from South Carolina who I didn't even know existed. But you're saying I should have some type of love, period, whatever level that you want to use.
Even if you use it on a basic human
Except for the relationship love.
Yeah,
Basic
relationship.
Yeah.
human level, we're going right back to love everybody then. So you even then you're saying I
Which
put you,
requires nothing out of you.
yes.
Well, see,
I
Or does it?
but here's the deal though. I can't manufacture something that I don't feel.
True.
That's true.
Everybody
You
has a
can't.
feeling of love. Everybody has their certain feeling of love. I can't manufacture love because we're blood. And
Well, see,
because
I do.
Mm.
See, this is where.
do something like that.
See, this is where we end up. Like I said, we have to define the parameters of the love that we talk about because, like you said, if you don't know the person or have some level of connection to the person, it's hard for you to say that you love someone, right? But I couldn't possibly be the guy that you guys have come to know over these years if not for the fact that I deeply love people. Like I don't always like people. I have real issues with humanity. But I'm driven to serve. I want to help people who are not being helped or people who are vulnerable. You know, it's where the school lunch thing came from. That's where the school clinic thing came from. This is where we're gonna move into doing when people with rent or daycare is coming from. I don't know none of these people.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But I just feel like, you know, if I can help, then I want to help, and that's love. That's
Now,
love. That's
yeah,
you
but this,
know,
as much as my answer irritated you, you right where I was at.
in a way. But the reason why it didn't irritate me, Tracy, is
Or what's
it's
that Marlon
the
that was irritated? One of
to
y'all two.
Marlon. I don't know. I wasn't irritated, and I certainly wasn't irritated with
I
you.
wasn't. No,
It's you know,
it was
I'm
Marlon.
trying. I'm trying to grow. I continue to fail at knowing how to shut up, but I can at least try to grow in being a better friend. And I know that I played a part in, you know, whatever. So I'm trying to manage myself better. You trying to drag me in there because it's what you're used to from me, but I'm trying to grow. So that's why I bit
Oh,
my tongue. So because we can go into the whole diatribe of how I feel like, but anyway, like Anna, when I was telling you I went to church all day today, it was tough for me. It was tough. It was tough, y'all. It was tough. I
but
have problems with people because of what?
no, go ahead.
Yeah.
No, when people just be contradicting themselves or they're sitting there talking and I know they're speaking, or I assume they're speaking from their heart, but the message ain't working because what you're saying ain't making sense, right? And then you telling this to other people though, and that bothers me because of how I view leadership and I view stewardship. But anyway, that's a separate thing, but it's kind of tied into what we're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
When you love someone, there's different levels, right? So
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Marlon, when he's talking about love, he's talking about it has to be familial. Like he had, I have to have something I can anchor this thing to, right? Whether we met for a minute or we met for a year, give me something to hang this term onto that can make it real. Otherwise, I'd be walking up and down the street saying I love everybody, and now does it mean anything? Is that kind of like what you're saying, Marlon, in a way,
That's
right?
what it is.
And then me, I'm coming from what I learned growing up in the church, but found overwhelmingly lacking in the church. Because it ain't like I just grew up in one church. I've been all around the country. I've lived outside the country. I've been a lot of different places. Okay. And it's still that thing that is still imperfect, and I understand it's imperfect, but anyway, I'm trying to actually live that thing that was implanted in me as a young person growing up in the church, and that is you serve God's creation. You serve your brother and your sister. It does me no good to do well if I am going to do well all by myself, right? So that's a different kind of love, right? That's I know you're going to disappoint me. I'm going to disappoint you, like, but I love you because God created all of us. Well, however you define God, like I define God different than most people, but however you define God, God created us, gave us an opportunity. So I can't. How do I love something else if I can't love you? Now
Mm-hmm.
you can make it so I don't love you, But on a base level, everybody I think is deserving of a basic level amount of love, a basic level of acceptance, a basic level of respect. Just for existing, you should have those things. And then we can move up or down based on our interaction.
And I will add
Right.
this, because I just want to. It
Agreed. 100%.
also means that even if you, in my opinion, if you see someone that you know can't stand you, they don't like you, they don't want to be around you, they're Donald Trump or whoever it is you don't like, and you see that person in need and you refuse to help them, that's not love to me.
It might not be. I might have loved you, but that has been revoked based
I
on
said, okay, but listen to the words I said. In my opinion,
yeah, all right.
specifically said, in my
Respect.
opinion.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, you did me dirty. You did something, or you did something horrendous. That love I was just talking about, revoke. You shot up that school, revoke. You beating on your woman, revoke. You did any harm to a child, revoke. You know, I still think you're a human being and you should be treated as a human being. But that's just being decent. I'll pull the switch myself on you.
Where I'm coming from is
I won't do that, but
that's where I'm coming from.
Hurt a child.
And I'm not jumping
Hurt
on
a child.
Tracy. I'm not jumping on Tracy. I'm literally not jumping on anybody. I'm specifically talking about myself. No, I'm not, Tracy. I'm really not. I get exactly what you're saying. Tracy, seriously, I've heard it all my life just as much as you have. Seriously. I told you, my whole family is surrounded by pastors, including my aunt. I'm surrounded by. I've heard it since I was born. Yes.
do you at all feel like you walk in service
Nope.
to the people that you love?
Yes.
Okay.
And that for me means speaking up like my work with Medicare for all.
Here's my deal though. Okay.
Would you have the same I'm sorry, Marlon. Would you have the same advocacy for Medicare for all if you did not have a personal story that attaches you to it?
Yes. And the reason I say yes is because I've heard so many, like literally, once I got in it, even before then, I was concerned about it. No, even before then, because I was like, well, why don't people have health care? Or why don't people have food deserts? Or what? The Palestine issue protesting. I mean, it's what I do is based out of love. It has to be.
But see, there is the issue that I'm having. There is the issue that I have.
Okay.
I don't base it out of love. I base it out of human decency. I literally don't have to love you to go out of my way to make sure that if I'm in a better situation than you is, that I try to help you out, regardless of who you is. And I don't need love to do that.
Okay, Marlon, loan me $50.
If I had it, I would. But I don't, so I can't.
Right. It comes back to the personal definitions and how people
exactly. Definitely defining it different.
And I love how Marlon just explained that point because I think this is super important for people and it crosses subjects. Marlon just explained that you may not call what I do in the way I do it love.
Right.
Or better yet, more accurately, you would call what I do and the reason I do things as love. But that is your definition. You cannot change my definition for why I do things. I do things because it's decent. I do things because it's the right thing to do. I do things because this is how we should all treat each other as creations or whatever. These are my words, not Marlon. But to you, in your lexicon, you would call that love, right?
I would.
I absolutely would.
I would.
Right, and that's
Yeah,
fine.
And
That's
let's
that's
look
fine.
on
fine.
the
But where
desert.
you end up with the
Yeah.
problem, and this is why I said it crosses subjects, right? This is how
Uh-huh.
you turn allies into enemies. Because we will spend so much time trying to get the other person to accept our terminology that we end up losing the fact we had an ally. You
It's
will be so upset that I will not use your pronoun that you will miss the fact that I'm standing here protesting with you.
and that's how and the funny thing about it is if you look at our shows, if you look at our older shows, I'm going off on another thing. Me and Thea's come to the same result. We
A
come to
lot.
the same conclusion.
A
But
lot.
our paths to it has been so totally different.
Diverging.
Completely
Yep.
and utterly different. But we get to the same conclusion. That's what makes great arguments. Makes great entertainment. But we're not going to fall out because we come to the same conclusion. That's why keep saying about love and human decency. I do not have to love you, yet I would do the exact same thing that you would do out of love. Literally, nothing different. If I give a homeless person $10 on the street because it's human decency to make sure that he has something in his stomach because it's 32 degrees outside and it's going to be cold and I don't want him to go hungry, I do it out of human decency. I didn't do it because I love him. I don't even know the dude's name.
Fair enough. Yeah.
But I will still do it. The ending is still the same. But we get so tied up into, but the reason why you did it. No, it's not. It has nothing to do with the reasoning why you did it.
Just don't film it and put it on Instagram. That's all
No,
I'm
no, those
asking.
are a-holes, and I want you to stop absolutely doing that.
Don't do that. Just
So
don't do
here,
it.
here's the thing with that.
Mm.
I agree with you too. But here's the thing with that. You're not doing it for the right reason. You're doing it for clout.
Yep.
And
Absolutely.
not only are you doing it for clout, but you are in a way further damaging this person, especially if they know you're doing it. Right? Because here's the situation. I'm going to give you this $50. Is it okay if I record your reaction when I give you something? Right? So you are making them a participant into your exploitation of their situation. But because they are in need, they will acquiesce to it. So now you can say, well, he agreed to it before I even did it, as though that absolves you, when in fact you were acting out of a power position that now has further dehumanized the person that you so call help. That's one side of it, which I personally find very objectionable.
Wow.
And then at the other side, to a lesser degree, this person just got fed. And they probably beat up on themselves all day, every day. They deal with a lot of stuff you can't even think about. But at least they got food this day. So it's like you
Here's
had bad intentions. This person got fed, but this person with good intentions didn't even feed them. So it's like it's
Right.
a very complicated web that you kind of deal with. So sometimes for me, it's not about your intent. Sometimes it is about your intent. Other times it's not about your intent. Sometimes I'm looking at the end result because I'm gonna come in with my good intention. So
So
let me work from there. But at least you
say
fed
that's
this
a
man
wash then?
or lady.
Would you say
Hmm?
that whole situation that you said was a wash? It's
I'm
the
not
wash.
saying it's a wash.
Okay.
I said this to a lesser degree. I'm just saying that while your motivation to do this thing was self-serving,
Mm-hmm.
you still, at the end of the day, something good did occur. It just could have been better if you didn't do it from a self-serving position because you may be adding new trauma that wasn't there before.
All right. Anna?
There was a video that a guy made, and I believe his reasoning was to show others how easy it is to start helping in your community. And took out his own money, went to a business, small business in town, got I think $150 of food. And as he's talking to the ladies who are bagging up his food, and he's explaining, this is what I do, and now I'm going to, do you need a hamburger? Do you, with no means testing, with no, you got to do something to get, just here's some food. And he would give it to whomever walked by, and that included the guy who was homeless, that included college kids. And he was simply saying, it's actually within our means, it's within our reach to help other people. And I don't understand why people say it's so complicated when you could just do something.
I mean, that's my belief system in a nutshell. That's why I try what I'm doing with small donations,
Yep.
small people doing small things to have big impact.
Yep.
Right? Now, you can do that, and I can't tell another person if they're wrong and how they're doing. I can tell it might not sit well with me, but perhaps, because sometimes you do need to let people see what you're doing, right? As you're physically doing it. And then to someone like me, I'd be like, but there's other people who will be spurred into motion because they can now see it. Because most people learn by putting themselves into a situation. So seeing it acted out in front of them makes them more inclined to follow. Because most people are followers. So you've given them something to follow.
Yeah.
So then the question will come down, right? We go into these existential questions. So now good things are being done. This individual that you helped, you simultaneously hurt, but through that, you help 500 more people. Where's the break point? Right? Joel Osteen, I'm just going to pick him out of whatever. Joel Osteen, I think he's a huckster and a charlatan. But how many people found their way to a healthier self-image, healthier life, healthier family structure? A lot of people found their way to some level of healing, even though, in my opinion, he is a huckster. The question then comes in, is the good that he's done intentionally, arbitrarily, incidentally, is that all canceled out because he was selfish? I don't know. I don't know. Or the age-old question with, sorry, Tracy, I had this conversation, I was feeding off like conversation with my family earlier today. Christianity. God made all, in my opinion, God made all of mankind. Spread us all around the world based on your geography and your climate and all that, is how your characteristics are developed, because we're all suited to where we originated out of. You telling me that a God that is love, like the definition, one of the definitions of God is supposedly agape love, would then say, I will doom 3/4 of every generation to hell because they did not accept my son as me.
I wouldn't say that.
But if you die outside of Christ, there are those, many of those, who would say your soul is now doomed because you did not come to the Father through the Son. Well, Christianity is a minor religion compared to Islam and Buddhism.
Right? Because there's more people to practice those.
Yeah. Exactly. But God created all of them.
They're older.
Well, that's too.
Well,
But
Buddhism is
God created all of them. If that's the operating understanding, which I personally correspond to, then
right.
are we going to say that these people are now, their souls are condemned to eternal damnation because they were not presented with this particular, in my opinion, subgroup of religion? Because whatever, I'm not going to get too far into that. But they didn't get that because part of the mission is that you're supposed to spread the good word around the world for all mankind. That's a process. That's time. That's generations upon generations upon generations. So would my God, I don't know about everybody else's God, would my God doom all of his so much of his creation to hell? My God would not. So it's just one of those things. It's a complicated thing. I say whatever your motivation or whatever your belief system is, if we can just share the belief to do good by each other, and if you see a person in need and you have the ability to help, help.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, one big announcement right now. I will not be breaking this down for next week's show. I will be using this for the December 16th because this was a great conversation the weekend 15th.
Yeah.
Because this was a great conversation
It's
and I
fun.
knew it would. I knew it would. Because at the end of the day, and I'm going to use a lazy term. So what? It's almost time to go. Because everything has a freaking nuance to it. Everything is not black and white. Everything has its own column of information. Your experiences, your background, your upbringing, everything has a certain nuance to it. And I thought this question would deal with that because it isn't black and white. It isn't belief or disbelief. So no, if you're looking for this next week or the week November, you're not going to get it. This will be part of the breakdown for the 2 weeks that we are off. Sorry, not sorry, get over it. This was a great conversation. I appreciate everybody here. I appreciate Foxy.
Thank you, Foxy.
Thank you, Foxy. Because you were right and Marlon he's right in his own way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think there was no right or wrong answer. It's just how you personally feel about it.
Yep.
I couldn't hear that. I'm sorry.
She
99.
said neither right nor wrong answer. It's just how you feel about it.
But she also said, but in this case, Marlon was right.
I did
I
I'm
not
didn't
say
hear
pretty
her
sure
that.
she
say
didn't
that.
say
I'm
that.
pretty sure we didn't hear
Pretty
her say
sure
that.
that part didn't happen.
I am truthfully 99.9% correct in all items.
Okay.
She said Marlon is usually correct 99.9%.
Yes, she did. Foxy
No, she
video
said
told me.
she's correct.
See, this is how rumors get started.
Boy.
Mm-mm-mm.
Oh, wait a minute. We do have a comment.
We got some wrong comments. We got some people that came in.
Yep, everyone has their own value system. Yes.
Yeah.
It's I want people to understand something, and that's what makes the country, the society so damn dangerous. It isn't black and white because if you say black and white is you're taking your value of life, your upbringing, your beliefs, and figuring that you're right, and anything that's beneath it is wrong. That's what makes black and white. It's not. Everything has nuances to it. And if you're smart enough, I said it, if you're smart enough to realize that, maybe you'll learn and you'll grow. If you believe that whatever it is that you went through in your life is correct, and everybody else who did not go through what you went through is wrong, you're wrong.
Yeah.
It's just really that simple. Sorry, but I'm not sorry. I'm just sick and tired of even holding these conversations. You
My
did not go
grandfather
through what
always
everybody else
would
go through. Go ahead.
say, my grandfather would always say, there are 4 pinnacles of life that you can always, if you run down these things, you don't even have to worry about where your intention is coming from. Are you working with love, and that being the general, not a romantic love, respect, honor, and humility? And more, he said, as he got older, and this is something that my mother repeats, as he got older, she got older, that humility is the linchpin. The more you can admit you don't know so much, the more that opens up a door to more learning, to more understanding, love, honor, respect, and humility. Being humble, not the humiliation version.
The one thing that I could take is, this is not a sports take, Anna, so please do not start to name that tune thing. The owner of the Carolina Panthers said the one thing that he had learned that was the most important lesson that he cherished to put him in the spot that he is, billionaire, is to know what he don't know and be comfortable with that.
He got that from Henry Ford.
He really did.
He did, yeah.
And just saying that to South
Carolina
Tell
steals
you, ain't no
everything.
such thing as a good billionaire. I tell you, stealing a man's.
Yeah. Let's go on to the next video real quick. This is, I always try to throw in some relationship advice a little bit. And this is one of them. If you think somebody's gonna chase you, they not.
I recently was going on dates with a man, and nice guy, good guy, treated me well. But
what?
once I realized that he was not my husband, because I'm only looking for husband energy at the moment, I ended things with him, and I sent him a text, because it wasn't that serious, I didn't feel like I needed to do it in person. Anyway, I sent him a text.
The breakup text. Classic.
Told him that I didn't see it going any further, and he agreed. He said that he didn't think that he could make me happy. And while I appreciate that, it was a very kind response.
Wait, where is this going?
He didn't even try. He didn't even try and say that he wanted to change, that he wanted to whatever.
Why would he? And why should he? It sounds like he got the better end of the deal. Yet one seems to be complaining that someone is not fighting to stay with someone who obviously doesn't want to be with them.
I can be manipulated. I will listen to you. But you didn't even try.
Indeed. And I believe we all can see why.
That young lady had some dating trauma. She did not develop good dating skills. And there's a lot of them out there, man. Because I've been told plenty of times over the years, you just gave up too easy. Look, you said, and I said, okay.
I don't get the. If you're saying that you're done with me,
And you're done with me.
you're done with me. Why are we even talking?
Okay.
And I tell you
They're
this.
not done.
This
They
is
don't-
what hurts me so much. This is
It's a
literally
test, Marlon. It's
It's a
just like
test.
that
And
video.
how do I feel about tests?
Don't
You
test me.
hate
Don't
tests.
But the
test
thing
me.
is, to
Yeah.
her, it's not a test. To her, it's not a test.
She wants. Oh my
It
gosh.
was.
If no, to her it wasn't
No.
a test
Sound like
because her problem is, look at me, I don't get rejected. So I'm telling you,
you ain't on
we're
that.
not going to work. The expectation is I'm the prize and you're going to try, but the reality is I ain't gonna. She still ain't gonna want to be with you.
Stop
She
reading.
can't handle being the one that was rejected. People can't stand that. I've seen it over the years. It is all well, and I've said this in other things when we talk about race. Learn how to reject the people who reject you, and that's what he did. She rejected him, and he said, "Okay, I
Okay.
don't think it's a good fit either."
Yeah.
See, if he had just said,
I can
"Well,
change.
but why?" Well, maybe even not that far. Just a matter of just asking why. He didn't even ask why. So her brain exploded, and she's like, "Whoa!"
I can be manipulated. Little
Which shows
girl.
me that she has been not.
Little girl.
She's
If
So
been taken
you
baby.
advantage of.
you know how it is to be manipulated, and you're okay with being manipulated.
And she
I
said
don't
it
think she's
like
saying she's okay with it.
she
I'm
didn't say
thinking
she was.
that
Really,
it's
She's saying that she
seriously, she
wants the.
is okay
She
with it.
wants a. She wants a man that'll say, "Oh please, baby," like them old blue rhythm and blues songs back in the day.
convince me that
Yeah,
I'm wrong is what she wants.
No,
yeah.
Tracy, what she is saying is she's easily able to be gaslighted.
No,
And she
she said
knows that she's
manipulated.
being
That's different.
gaslighted, but she's fine with being gaslighted.
Okay, this young lady, think about this.
She
I'm
meant
back it up a
her
little bit.
mind could be changed.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Back this up just a little bit and consider
She just
that
chose
you're
a really
not
bad
talking to
one.
one of us. Take this person as an individual and what we just watched her do with her video.
We can't hear you.
She,
Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead,
oh, my battery's dying. Sorry.
Oh.
But she basically said what Anna just said. I can be convinced. At
Mm-hmm.
least try to convince me. Now she used terminology that to us grown folk, we're like, well, that ain't the right word, girl. You know what you said is a whole different thing. But at her level of understanding, she's using a word.
She meant something completely different. It just didn't come out right. A lot of times, I will look back at what I have said in the moment and go, "Oh man, that wasn't the word that I was looking for." And it didn't come close to what I was trying to say.
Y'all defending this mess, so I ain't. She needs to shed her look. She needs to stop
Oh
playing Candyland.
no,
Grow up. Shut up. You told him to. You didn't want to be with him. He said, "Okay, girl. He not. Ain't everybody. You ain't all the
But
girl.
I will,
You
but I will
not.
say this, Tracy.
You not."
I will say this. I'm gonna push back on one little thing because I felt this. I will say this because of something that Thea said, which is absolutely true. You didn't even ask why, so it's kind of like
He doesn't have to ask why. She said
no, no,
it's not a
no.
good
We're not
fit.
gonna do that. What you should and couldn't. It was sort of like
He's under
you
no
didn't even say
responsibility.
why we go break.
Logically, you're right, Tracy.
He
yeah,
said once she said it's over, it's over.
But Tracy, you know how often y'all come down on me about how hard it is to date me? And I've made this
That's
exact
because
same point
you
over
have
and over and over again.
because you have 9,425 rules.
No, I don't.
no.
I got like four.
You have
I agree
9,424
with that.
rules.
You did dodge the bullet, but her mentality was when she said this is not going to work out. Human nature will literally say why. even if you're agreeing with the why, like, okay, I'm not gonna push back on, hey, I could change or anything else. Which, lady, go play in traffic. Even when you sit there and say why, and she said, okay, that was rough. That was rough.
Wow.
That was rough. I'm like,
Yeah,
she's a kid. She's a young person.
That was a little rough. That was a little rough. Even if you was to say why, that even in a certain point is okay. What is it that you don't see in us? So I could put it in the background of, I've heard this before, so maybe there is something that I can change in me. So when I
She
get
ain't there
into
yet.
a relationship, that I don't make the same mistake because I've heard these same issues before. But when you hear the word,
Nothing is her fault.
yeah, when you hear the issue, we're gonna break up. Okay, it's almost sound like I was really hoping that you would said that. I'm really glad. So I see you.
But that is what happened.
I'm gonna say this
That's
again. He is under no obligation
so
to
glad that
ask
you.
her why. Once
Woo,
she
I'm
said
so
it
glad
was
that's
over,
over with.
it's over. It's like done. Move on to the
But
next
see, no,
one.
here's the thing. What's funny about that, and I can speak on this one because this has happened. That's literally how I've always been since I was probably about 14 years old. What happens though is you come across someone who's not at that stage of their development, or that's just not how they're wired to function. So
Mhm.
when it happens, it hits them like a truck. Like there's usually some interplay on
Mhm.
some level. And she's used to there being some level of interplay, and he ain't give that to her. So she was confused. Because I'm that one. Like you'd be like, I don't see this working out. I agree. Zoop. And
Yeah,
then
but
two
like,
weeks
okay.
later, you want to come home and have a conversation with me. Because it
No.
wasn't you didn't recognize that it was gonna move that quickly. It
Right.
the finality of the moment was not what you were prepared for, so you get confused.
You know how many men have told me it's over and I okay.
But that's me and you though. That's
And
not
you were
how
ready to
everybody's
let
groomed
go.
or prepared.
She is not. She is emotionally immature,
She really
socially
is.
immature.
And I hate to say this. Oh, I
She
hate to
got
say
bad
this.
dating habits.
It's a lot of people,
Yeah.
both male and female, that act just like that, and they way older, way older.
Yeah. And
Yep.
now
Because they're going back to
guys who act like that are harming women when they get turned down. So,
it's people who are going back to back with bad relationships into their adulthood. If you don't feel like Anna just said, if you don't have no humility and you feel that everything that you done is correct, and you have some set goals that's bad or unrealistic, or goals that you got off of a reality TV show, then yes,
hey,
you're
you leave
gonna
Kim
feel.
Kardashian out of this.
But you going, but you don't. But you and I both know we have some young people and older people who set their goals in a relationship off TV.
That's
It's
what's in front of them.
ah. Then they don't understand why this ain't working.
What do you
Uh,
mean? If you have to base it off of one income, and then dang on it, this ain't leaving the beaver. What?
Their after turf front yard. And
all right,
But let's
let's.
say that I do want that Mrs. Brady life. Period.
No, I don't want no
Mrs.
damn.
Brady want that Mrs. Brady life.
Say what?
I want that Mrs. Brady life. That's my goal. She
I
didn't
don't want
cook.
no.
She didn't clean. Basically, she
Oh,
was just there.
I don't know anybody really wants that life.
I
I
don't want
don't
no
think
sex
so.
kids in the house.
But
There's
Sorry,
some stuff to come with that life that you might not want.
I don't want no six kids. I don't want no six kids. I know it's one more than what we've had. I still don't want
I'm about to
six.
say, don't you have five?
I don't care.
I know he just
I
one
don't
slip.
want. I don't
He's
care.
just one slip up away from. Oh, Marlon, guess what?
I don't even care. I think that six kid would have had me. I don't care. I don't want it. I
I mean, 3 of them really weren't hers. I mean, they were his kids, so basically she just had 3.
4.
No, she had all them
3.
kids. She
But
might
she
not
never
have
took.
birthed them, but she had
She
all them
had 3
kids.
daughters, and the youngest one was in curls.
Yes.
Are you
And
talking
then
about the
she married a
Brady
man who
boy?
had 3 sons. So she now has
And
6
4
kids.
men like their father, yet they were all alone.
Boy, if you don't think I'm finna move on to another damn video, you out of your mind really quickly. Next video, the new Speaker of the House don't even know how to play the game.
Well, apparently there is a scandal surrounding the new Speaker of the House. Guy has been in Congress for up to 6 years and is still living paycheck to paycheck. I know what you're thinking. This guy thinks he can lead Congress when he hasn't even figured out how to engage in basic insider trading yet. I mean, how did this guy make it into leadership?
Cute. But what's really going on is so much more sinister, I believe. And we will find out about it within the next 2 years. Because now the light's on. This man lives a very good lifestyle.
Yeah.
He makes a congressional salary for the last 6 years, but he has nothing that's actually tied to him in his name. Can anyone else hear the pitter patter of cult-like behavior in the background? We will find out that there is someone else pulling the strings as far as what he can do, can't do. Like anytime I hear somebody talking that ultra religious stuff, especially ultra religious white talk like that, white Christianity stuff, that's real some scary stuff. Because that means that it doesn't always mean this, but it's what I've seen. You end up with that David Koresh type thing going on, right? You end up with that whoever that guy was with the Mormons out there, James or John or whatever his name was, that they finally locked up. Took a long time for them to get him.
Yeah.
That type of thing. We're gonna find out that this man is part of some subsect of Christianity that they all take their money and give it to the collective, and then they all function from there. But no one was seeing it before because he was under the radar.
Yeah,
But
you
now
didn't have
all the lights are about to be turned on.
Joseph
No,
Smith.
Parker, that was Joseph Smith is the one that founded Mormonism.
No, that's
His
when he
is
found the
talking,
Mormons. I'm talking
yeah,
about Jeffs, something
yeah,
Jeffs,
Jeffrey Jeffs
that
or something like that. Yeah,
something Jeffs.
yeah, the one that had all those children lovers and blah blah blah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I had 32 wives or 36 wives or something ridiculous like that.
But yeah, I think that's what I think is going to happen. We're going to hear some stuff about him eventually. It ain't going to be pretty. And this man is 2 steps from the presidency. America is in steep decline. Like steep decline for most of white America. It ain't never been right for us. But it's finally starting to get better for most other people. I wish there's a better way to get that light shined on things. It is getting better for non-white peoples in America, which is why those who are of that particular persuasion in white America are freaking out. So they're fighting harder, right? The multicultural white, black, and everybody else, things are moving forward slowly. A lot of setbacks, but it's moving forward. This is the people who resist that change, who still have power, who are trying to organize their forces to push back time. And ultimately they'll lose, but that doesn't mean that they're going to lose in the short run if we don't put forth, serious effort.
Yeah, I literally always been thinking about that. Is everybody keeps constantly thinking that society will correct themselves. I believe that society will correct themselves. My issue is one, when, because if you keep going this route that you're going, yeah, it could create themselves in 4 years, which is honestly what America is used to, every presidential election, or 20, 30, 40 years. where we're digging ourselves out of a hole from what happened that one presidential election. And that's always been my fear. Sure, we can correct ourselves. How much damage is going to occur during that time, though? And that's what you're not thinking. That's what you're not concentrating on. Because you're constantly thinking, and myth is, Anna Tracy have always said this on the show, because you're looking for that white knight to come across the hill to come save us all. That white knight may not even be born yet. I'm not even
Or better yet, you're the reinforcements. You were the one that was, you're the one people were waiting for.
Yeah. Meanwhile, that reinforcement, how well are they going to do? You can't dig yourself out of but so much at a certain period of time. Meanwhile, the damages is happening over and over and over and generations and decades and year. And you just like, but this one person's gonna come. I said this about somebody was killing me. I'll never forget this. When Obama won.
Marlon, you're sounding a little bit underwater. Is your mic?
Who knows? My mic is old.
Okay, you're better now.
But I said this about when Obama was elected when he beat Bush.
McCain.
When he won, he didn't beat Bush when he won the election. And I said, somebody came out and said, it's been a whole year and you see what Obama has done. The economy is just as bad. I said, y'all are so amazing to me that you figure that one man can fix something that a man for 8 years have done, that you want a man to fix in 1 year. Y'all are totally amazing to me.
And plus, we only start to see the
It takes 2 years to like really do something, and then 3 years, and then really it takes 4 to 6 years if you really want to get deep about it. It takes, which is why I keep arguing presidential terms should be 6 years instead of 4, because in 4, what you doing in 4 years? What you really doing?
I will push back on one thing that you say, Tracy. It don't take no 5 years. They always have a 5-year plan. You know why they always say that I have a 5-year plan? Because that means you're going to have to elect me into office for you to see the fruition of my plan if it's going straight.
I'll go even a little further. I think that is everything moves in more like a 10 to 12 year cycle. The problem is we as voters and citizens and whatever you want to call us, we have unrealistic expectations of what change requires. So someone gets elected and we, even though we know better, we default into the president is the head of the government and the buck stops here type thing. And that's childish thinking, because the president can't control anything but the executive branch. It requires buy-in from other things in order for them to get anything done. And so the buck stops here only works in a corporate environment. It doesn't work in our government. But we expect things to be done quickly, and we're looking for one person to come along and make everything make sense, and we're fine if that happens. And then we get disappointed that it doesn't happen, and we only give you 2 years to show us that you're magical. And inevitably, it doesn't work out, because during those same 2 years, the other party, their whole job is to make sure everyone thinks that you're bad luck.
Yep, it's your fault.
So nothing ends up working, and then those of us outside of it all, either most of us don't pay attention. Most people don't absorb stuff like we do, but they just have unrealistic expectations. And then those of us who know better, we do the same stupid thing. Like, this person hasn't fixed everything. It's been 3 years, or it's been 4 years. It's a 400-year problem. I mean, well, I'm sorry, 200-year problem. How you expect this person to fix it? And then we push on you a little bit and say, well, wait a minute. What is it that this person or that person did or didn't do? And then they'll answer, and I'm like, well, whose responsibility was that? And then they'll say it was Congress, or they'll say it was well. I'm like, so then you know it wasn't this person. But we don't have the opportunity to have that level of discourse, so we're usually functioning in sound bites. So
Right.
there is no follow up. There is no digging in. There is no like giving people the civic understanding that they didn't get when they were in school.
All right, last video of the night, so I can take advantage of this daylight savings time. This was actually kind of funny to me. It's funny, but it's not funny. It's kind of morbid if you think about it. It's basically an alien looking at the evolution of the world.
Look at that. The humans are developing tools. They're using that as weapons. Okay. Awesome. The humans developed fire. That's gonna really... They're using that as a weapon. Hey, look what they got there. They found a new way to transport themselves across the oceans of that planet. That's pretty cool. That's gonna help them travel. They're using it as a weapon. Okay, well, this new transportation that they got seems pretty solid. They're able to fly across the world, so that's... And they're using it as a weapon. Look! Look, they're using nuclear technology! They're finally smartening up! This is gonna be great for them! This was great for our society! It made us be able to travel across the stars to other planets. Oh my god, they're using it for bombs! What the hell is wrong with this planet?
You know what's funny though? The problem is, I think that we underestimate other civilizations. One, we think that they function like us. That's the first thing, and then let's say that they did. Depending upon where they are located in the galaxy or in the multiple galaxies, they could have been evolving for much longer than us. So they may have done some of the very same stuff. Nuked themselves, killed themselves, destroyed this, destroyed that, subjugated, all those things, because creation is jacked up. And I love how amazing space is and how awesome it is, and how no matter how big things get, they're so small,
Yeah.
and how small we actually are.
Me too.
It's so cool to me. Like to me, it's almost like, and to encapsulate it, it's like we're all worshiping God when, and just go with me, it's an imagery thing. We're worshiping God, but we're literally little aspects of cells and DNA within God. Like God is like a 5-year-old toddler playing in the sandbox, living his best life. And we are amoeba and we're bacteria. It's like that. What was that movie? Something Jones, the one that Chris Rock was in or something way back. It was a cartoon movie.
I'm about to say Orlando Jones.
But it's basically just like we're all just cells and little pieces that make up the creation that which is God. When you look at it from the space kind of thing,
I
because
always
it's
like
wild
the
how
end
they
of
mirror
Men
each
in
other.
Black where they pick up the marbles and we are inside the marble.
Right. Like think about it. We fight each other over religion, gender, ethnicity, geographical location. We fight each other over rich, poor. We fight over all these things. And at the end of the day, we are microscopic beings on a rock that is hurtling through space, hoping not to hit another rock.
Yeah.
Here's what I always thought about it, and thank you for the Marvel universe because it opened my eyes for two things. And what the first thing, no, the Marvel universe didn't open it. I always thought when I was little, only this world would think there was no other worlds out there. It's just so astonishing to me that no, we're the only planet that's lucky enough, and I'm taking it out of the biblical sense of it. I'm doing science, not biblical.
Hmm.
We're the only planet that was capable and lucky, because it was luck,
Uh-huh.
that was close enough to the sun to keep us warm, but further enough from the sun that we don't burn, that we was able to have organisms, cells, evolution.
Mm-hmm.
And we're the only billions, trillions upon trillions of stars that are suns that is over the universe. But we're the only planet that was capable of doing this. Now, let me go to the Marvel universe.
Yeah.
For the people who come, the technology and the things that we get. If you look at some of these Marvel universes, some of the movies that they have, and you notice that, yeah, just because your technology is better doesn't make it good. You will stop marveling over advanced technologies from other planets. Like they pretty much did the same thing that this guy was saying that we did. We took small things and found a way to make them weapons.
Yep. Everything.
So we look at these other planets with their advanced technology without thinking their advanced technology was to make their lives better. Look at the Marvel universe and realize that no, they had advanced technology for war.
Well, that's just
It's
it.
worse to take over
Pe-
other planets.
Humanity, in whatever form it takes on other planets, humanity has two obsessions: how to live longer, how to kill faster.
Yep. That's it.
We use nuclear technology for both.
Yeah.
We use fire for both.
Yeah.
We use gunpowder for both. You know, it's
Yep.
that is like the yin and the yang of everything we do. How do I live longer? How do I kill faster? And that's how we roll.
Parker,
You know, and I'm like, I'm thinking we have the Voyager mission that went out in the late 70s, I want to say, that finally got out past our solar system. Now, I'm not sure how true the things they say to us at this point are, because that's 1970s technology that you somehow claim you can still detect out beyond the heliophase. But okay, whatever. Um, it still took that long for something we made moving that fast to get to the Kuiper Belt.
Mm-hmm.
We do not need to have any contact whatsoever with anything that can travel from outside of our solar system. We don't need to meet them. We don't need to meet them. We can't even get to the next planet. We do not need somebody who can get from a whole different galaxy. You can leave that alone. Leave that mess alone. You know,
We
but
can't even
anyway.
get this planet right. Why are we? This is the thing that about outer space is always frustrating me. Like we can't even get this planet right. Look how much pollution there is, and war, and hunger, and we're
Right.
talking about going out here for other planets. Hey, here's my idea. Let's get this planet right. Let's get the one that we live on. Let's do something about this one.
And the funny thing about that, Tracy, is I don't even trust you to do that. I trust. I'm sorry. I'm so jaded that I
Yeah,
figure that you going to go to other planets to fix this planet.
yeah. You're gonna spend
Because
how
our whole mentality and history has
Conquer.
proven that we don't go to discover. We
we go
go
to
to
exploit.
conquer.
Yeah, we
Yeah,
go to
to
exploit or
exploit. We
conquer,
go
one or the other.
to take what we can possibly get. No, I don't need you to go to another country. Another country. To another
We don't
planet.
really need to be going to know another country neither. We got
But I
enough
don't need you to
problems
go
here
to
at
another
home.
planet because I figured that you're gonna do the same thing that you did to this country. You're gonna go to see what they have that you can bring
Take it.
here to you.
Yep. And make money
Well,
off
I'll
of it.
take. Here's another thing. Check this out. Well, here's one of the reasons why I think, to speak to what Tracy had raised, why we don't take care of this planet. Okay, the people who are believers of, I can think of two major faiths. They don't think that this is their eternity anyway. So when they die, they go somewhere better. They're not overly invested in this right here. Then you have others who have their belief systems that are rooted in the planet, right? And so they feel that they're supposed to be caretakers of the planet. We look down on most of those cultures.
Yep, we do.
And then you have the secular people who don't ascribe to any of this stuff, and they're busy focusing on social welfare, like social welfare from the standpoint of just taking care of people, right? And let's do some things to not destroy the planet while we're here, right? Because this is the only place we're gonna be. When it's over, right? And since we all can't agree on that, and the people who have most of the power are fatalists waiting to die, we ain't getting nowhere. And it's you know, it's kind of sad and odd at the same time. Like we are our own worst enemies.
Yeah, it's like it's so sad. It's like we got this planet. We only get this one. Ain't no way for us to live on them other planets. I know they there. But we can't live there. We can live here. This is where we can live. We can't live up there. We can live here. We need to make this better.
Here's
Right?
the funny thing about
And then that's the thing, like talking to religious people, like
tell them this.
this is what he gave us.
He
Like,
said to occupy. It is our responsibility to take care of what he gave us. We are stewards over the planet. I hear that
So-
sometimes. I'm looking at them like you
think about a long time ago, there was a TV show
called Different Strokes.
Nation. I wouldn't use different strokes in an analogy in 50 million years. There's a TV show that was X Nation or Z Nation or something like that. Either way, the point was that another
you're talking about V.
You're talking about V,
Okay,
the show
V.
that I just talked about last week.
The V.
They were reptiles,
It
and they
was
came
just
to
V.
No, V was the people who was
they was the reptilian people.
but they was disguised.
Yeah, they were
Yes, they were
reptiles disguised as
aliens.
humans. They were aliens disguised as reptile humans.
This was a movie TV show where the aliens came down and lived among us. You knew who they were, and they became part of
Coneheads?
society.
Galactic Star.
No, I'm thinking Coneheads. That was a great movie.
No, because that was so silly.
That was so dumb.
I can't do Coneheads.
Like,
but either way, the point of the matter is they
Third Rock from the Sun.
They lived among us. They had the same jobs.
But nobody knew they were aliens, except for that.
Yeah, they knew they was aliens, but they came among us. They lived among us. They had the same jobs. They had the same everything.
That's that Will Smith movie.
No,
he said it was a TV show.
It's a TV show. Will Smith
Who was on the TV show? Because now I got to see.
I'll look it up and send it to you.
Max Headroom. I'm just guessing shows. I'm just gonna keep naming shows.
Max was a computer program.
I'm just gonna keep naming shows because it's almost a Monday, so I gotta
it's
be
almost
working.
time to clock in for work.
I know. I'm like, I gotta be working about 8 hours.
9, really.
Mm.
The point is that the show pretty much does what this society is going to do anyway. They're going to other you anyway. Even if we were to try to be among you, even if they was to go to your planet and do it, they'll find a way to other you. That even if your technology was better than ours, you're using it wrong. It would be better for the planet Earth. and you're doing it wrong and everything else. So,
And with
what?
the aliens,
Even if they were nice, let's say they were nice, then we would abuse them.
We would abuse
Yeah.
them.
we would take them.
Native
Has anybody not
Native
watched the
Americans.
movie E.T.? That's exactly what we would do. We would capture E.T., put him in a lab. Yeah, spoiler alert, E.T. gets captured for all the people that haven't seen the movie.
You are literally doing spoiler alerts on E.T.
I mean, I'm just saying,
I'm
some people.
so sorry. Get a life.
Or the movie Mars Attacks.
I'm just saying, some people may never seen the movie, but it'll be a reboot. So don't fear. It'll be a reboot in about 6 years. Parker said he hadn't saw the movie. Thank you, but Parker's also
50-year-old spoilers.
E.T. was in like
dirt.
E.T. came out when I was like 8.
Yes.
E.T. came out in like I don't know the year, but it was probably
No, I
something
was
like
8.
82.
82. Yeah, I was
80s.
8 years old when E.T.
That's
came out.
40 years.
Parker said he never saw it, so he don't know that E.T. got captured. Parker doesn't know that E.T. got captured. Parker doesn't know that E.T. got captured. Parker doesn't know that E.T. got captured.
Hey, Tracy, how about you tell everybody where they can find you?
Yes, that's what I want to do.
Here we go.
Yeah. 3-hour show. I'm not going to do no 3-hour shows no more. It's 3-hour show.
Spoilers for E.T. Tracy, please tell everybody where they can find you.
Hey, what about Mac and Me?
I never saw that movie.
Don't.
Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, I will be live. Tuesday is the presidential discussion. Wednesday is the Republican national debate. And Thursday is my regular Thursday show. So join me for all those, because it's going to be a busy week for me.
You're doing another one?
Yep.
Anna?
Yeah?
Really?
Really?
Tell everybody where they can find you.
No.
You irritating sister of mine.
It's right on the screen. BoreliaEtc.com.
Yes?
Yeah, I ain't got nothing.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, non-conforming individuals, and of course,
I'm assuming you're LGBTQ until
is our show for the night. I appreciate Theas. I appreciate Tracy. I appreciate Anna. I am Marlon, and I thank you all. And until next time, we will see you when we see you. Peace.
You know there were dinosaurs on the ark.
Stop.
Rawr.
What?
Wow.